Well, I guess the live has started. Yeah.
I'm
Hi,
checking my
everyone.
phone.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I hope you're able to
Yeah, now
get the
we'll
audio.
start it. Yes.
Okay, cool, cool. Right, guys. So, welcome to the live stream with Optionables as well as Alpha Leo Capital. And today I'm quite happy to have Praful with me. And I'm sure that he is going to share great insights and we are going to have an exciting time trading together. So, I think we have already posted regarding the agenda of what we'll be discussing throughout this session. And I hope that you guys have a great time too. So, first of all, welcome to the live session, Praful. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Saket. Thanks for having me. And it's my pleasure to be on your channel because like you guys are doing a commendable job and the growth you have been seeing is quite phenomenal and keep doing the good job. And let's try to change the narrative that is around the trading in the Indian community.
Exactly. So that's what we have come together for. And
Yes.
of course, even your trading is quite commendable and you are doing a great job as well.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Okay, then, Praful. Then we'll quickly start off with the discussion regarding the market setup. And maybe we can
Yes.
later ask the audience regarding what is their view. And then we will try to enter the trades by 1 o'clock.
Yes. So let me go over like how I'm planning this session. So पहले क्या करेंगे? I think
Hmm?
everyone should understand Hindi and English, right? Like most of the people are
Yes.
comfortable with both Hindi and English. So I'll try to keep it bilingual so that everyone would be comfortable. तो पहले
Right.
क्या
Right.
करेंगे? पहले हम टेक्निकल एनालिसिस के बेसिस पे हम मार्केट बायस को करेंगे. पहले we'll
Okay.
arrive at the market bias. What are we
Hmm?
expecting the markets to do? And based
Right.
on the market bias we'll use the technical
Hmm?
analysis जो levels है support resistance levels है the days high days open like we'll discuss about that and Saket
Right.
you can take us through the open interest analysis and all that.
Sure. Sure.
उसके बाद we'll ask the audience कि with this bias what
Hmm?
positions do the audience want us to take. Do they want
Right.
us to take a straddle? Do they want us to take strangle? Do they want us to take some vertical spreads or whatever? We'll take those positions.
Right.
Whatever most comments
They want.
come that yeah
Yeah.
that option will go with. And then we'll enter the trade. And trade enter hote hi what we'll do is we'll describe how we are going to adjust, what are the criteria that we look for adjustment of the positions, and
Right.
what are the levels till where like we just sit on our asses do nothing.
Right. Right.
That's also very important. And once we are done doing that, then probably
Hmm?
we have all the time in the world till the market reaches the level of adjustments. So we'll
Correct.
use that time to take some questions and answers, and we'll do a Q&A session, and we'll interact with the people. So how does that sound?
That sounds really great. So I hope the audience are also excited. Guys, if you're liking the stream, then do hit the thumbs up button and also give a cheer to Praful for joining in. And so then, Praful, maybe then you can start off with the technical analysis part right now. So then we'll
All
be
right,
maybe looking at the quant part as well as open interest part.
all right.
And then we'll enter the trade together.
Okay, guys, I hope you can see my screen. So we are in the Bank Nifty chart. So we will be taking a trade on Bank Nifty today. So if you see, like we are in a mad bull run. So the markets are showing all signs of strength, and probably the sectoral rotations happening. One day ITC is going up, one day Tata Motors is hitting the circuit, and we are in this bull run. So nobody can refute this fact. Like no matter what you say, the economy ye hai, wo hai, and we have to go back to 10,000. The markets are overvalued, but it is what it is. We are in a bull run. We are constantly heading higher, relentlessly heading higher, without without even a minor retracement, without even a minor consolidation. So personally speaking, I'm not comfortable with the kind of bull runs that's going on. But again, that's my bias, and we have to accept the reality that the market is going higher. So coming to the intraday trade, we again gapped up by quite an amount, almost 1% ka gap up ho gaya, Bank Nifty mein. So if you look at this, we gapped up, and initially there was some amount of profit booking, you might say, and after
Right.
that, again we have went into a consolidation mode. So the market looks pretty sideways, right? So
Right.
let's mark the levels first. So what are the key
Hmm.
levels that I'll be looking out for? Of course, the
Hmm.
day's high, which
Hmm.
also happens to be the all-time high.
Correct.
Now, and yesterday's high or yesterday's close, which should ideally act as a support if we start heading there. So, agar
Right.
market, if we start heading there,
Hmm.
the market should ideally take support at this level. Ideally.
Right.
But it's not sure that it's going to happen. It's
Hmm.
just a probability, and usually the previous day's high, previous day's close, they act as a good point of interest. They act as good resistance and support. And
Right.
at the same time, this level
Hmm.
should ideally hold. And even if this level doesn't hold, I'm
Hmm.
not way too concerned about that, because just 100 points away, we have a psychological round number that is 40,000.
Right. Correct.
So the market clearly looks bullish.
Hmm.
So I would be considering a sideways to bullish position.
Okay.
And once we start breaching this level,
Okay.
intraday May, if we start breaching the yesterday's close or yesterday's high, that is when
Right.
I'm going to surrender to the market and I'm gonna exit my position no matter what the MTM is. Because
Right.
how I view my trade is, first thing is risk management. For me, I'll decide the levels first.
Hmm.
कि ये level अगर breach होता है तो then I'll come out of the markets. If
Right.
markets are within the range, of course theta decay is my friend and it's always going to be there to help me.
Right.
So I'll be first looking to cut my losses and I'll define those levels. For me, towards the downside, towards the upside,
Hmm.
40,000 level. Once 40,000 level starts to get breached, or probably
Right.
if 40,050, like I can give another
Hmm.
50 points, you usually,
Hmm.
because psychological levels पे कैसे काम करता है, we penetrate around 50, 60 points and then from
Correct.
there the reversal happens. Correct? I think
Correct.
Saket, you
Correct.
must have also seen this multiple
Right.
times.
Right.
So I would give the market a space between 40,050, and first level of support is the day's low, or the day's low where the market's already taken the support once,
Right.
and I'll keep adjusting till the market
Hmm.
stays above this, that is above yesterday's high.
Perfect.
Once the market starts tanking below it, probably
Got it.
I'll cut out my position, since my position is intraday.
Perfect.
This is very
Perfect.
important. The time horizon I'm looking at is an intraday trade, right? If it's a positional,
Right.
it's a completely different ball game. Since I'm doing an intraday trade, no matter what, I want to cut these positions by the end of 3:30.
Right. Right.
Since because I've opened a trade with a proper view. मतलब मैं एक intraday strangle trade कर रहा हूँ. I have no interest in converting that straddle or strangle into a positional.
Right. Right.
So my intraday trades will definitely remain intraday trades, and whatever happens within the day, I have fixed criteria for exit, and I'll adhere to that.
Right. So that sounds a pretty good plan, Praful. So on the technical front, I think Praful has made it quite clear that we might witness some resistance around 40,000 at its psychological level. And then we will face our initial support at 39,500. And then, because that is also the day's low, as well as the market has already taken a support here. And then the thing is, we are going to take a slightly bullish trade, and the moment the market starts tanking below the previous day high, we are going to cut off all our trades. So this is I hope I'm right with the this view
Yes,
what you
yes,
have.
yes, yes.
Right. So now let me just see on the front of open interest also what exactly is the data suggesting. So right now, if I just open interest here, so I will just open Bank Nifty. So in Bank Nifty, what I really see here is there is a lot of call unwinding happening at lower levels like 39,400 as well as 39,300.
Correct.
So the people are unwinding calls because they are no longer expecting the market to come below that. Because if they were actually expecting, then they will hold on to the calls, because that's when the calls will give them the highest profit. So the thing is, they are coming out of their calls, whereas they're also adding a lot of put positions. So this is again a confirmation that, as you rightly mentioned, on the lower side, we might face some sort of a good support coming in. That too, especially around 39,500. You can see that today itself, around 1.4 million put contracts have been added. That means so many people would have actually shorted the puts, right? And coming to the call side, and again we can see a huge build up around 40,000 as well as 39,800. So this is what has changed today. Today the puts and calls have changed at the same amount, so there is not really a huge amount of call unwinding and huge amount of put writing or anything of sort. But if we look at the overall open interest, so what we see is, again, like as you rightly mentioned, based on the technical analysis, 40,000 is likely to act as a psychological support. That's what we get to see here also. Sorry, psychological resistance. So that's what we get to see here as well. And the thing is, once if we see that open interest is adding on 40,000 puts as the market moves closer to 40,000, then we can expect a breach of 40,000. Or I don't see, if people don't actually add puts as it approaches higher, we might not see 40,000 being breached. And again, we can broadly expect the market to consolidate around 39,500 to 40,000. So even based on open interest, it's more or less the same level what you have shown on technicals. So
Okay.
that is,
So
yeah, so
since a
that is
lot
my
of
take
people are
on it.
asking for Hindi also, I'll just briefly go over what we discussed once in Hindi. So people who
Yeah,
have already listened to English, just bear the redundancy. तो मैं क्या बोला? Previous day high, previous day low, previous day close. These three levels हमेशा support and resistance की तरह काम करता है. And current days high low, even they will act as support and resistance. उसके साथ साथ और क्या support and resistance जैसे काम कर सकता है? These pivot levels. आपको दिख रहा है ना ये जो pivot points, शायद आपको सबको शायद पता रहेगा pivot points क्या होता है. तो pivot points भी support and resistance जैसे काम करने वाला है. उसके साथ साथ there is also something called psychological level. मतलब psychological level, round numbers जो होता है 40,000, 35,000, 38,000, all these round numbers, ये भी support and resistance जैसे काम करने वाला है. क्योंकि कैसे काम करने वाला है, अगर कोई बंदा 35,000 पे अगर कोई बैंक निफ्टीज को लॉन्ग किया रहेगा, तो जैसे वो 40,000 हिट करेगा, ही फील्स टू बुक प्रॉफिट, मतलब वो प्रॉफिट बुक करने वाला है. जब प्रॉफिट बुकिंग आती है मार्केट में, ऑफ कोर्स वहां से एक रेजिस्टेंस आ जाता है. So that is usually how support and resistance works in its very simplistic term. मतलब काफी सिंपल तरीके से अगर एक्सप्लेन करना है तो that's how it works. तो मैंने ये लेवल्स मार्क करके रखा है. तो दिस इज, ये जो नीचे वाला लाइन जो है वो प्रीवियस डे हाई है, एंड ये लाइन है ये प्रीवियस करंट डेज का लो है, एंड ये जो लाइन है दिस इज टुडेज हाई, एंड ये जो लाइन है दैट इज 40,000. तो प्लान क्या रहेगा? जब तक मार्केट इस दिन का रेंज में रहेगा, द स्ट्रैडल शुड डू क्वाइट ओके फॉर एन इंट्राडे पर्पस. इंट्राडे के लिए स्ट्रैडल काफी अच्छा काम करना चाहिए. जैसे ये इंट्राडे का लो ब्रीच होगा, तब मैं थोड़ा बहुत मतलब अग्रेसिवली एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा. एंड अगर ये जो रीजन है यस्टरडेज हाई, अगर इसको ब्रीच कर देता है, देन प्रोबेबली मैं मेरा पोजीशन को काट दूंगा. क्योंकि मैं जो पोजीशन एंटर कर रहा हूं, मैं इंट्राडे के लिए एंटर कर रहा हूं, और मुझे कोई प्लान नहीं है कि इस इंट्राडे पोजीशन को कन्वर्ट करके पोजिशनल में लेके जाऊं. क्योंकि आज जो ट्रेड ले रहे हैं वो ट्रेड आज ही खत्म होगा, नो मैटर व्हाट. इधर छोटा लॉस में खत्म होगा, छोटा प्रॉफिट में खत्म होगा, ब्रेक इवन पे खत्म होगा, या बड़ा प्रॉफिट में खत्म होगा. वी डोंट प्लान ऑन टेकिंग बिग लॉस. हमारा फर्स्ट जब ट्रेड एंटर करता है, हम पहले देखेंगे कि कहां पे मेरे को मैक्सिमम पेन आएगा, तो उस पेन के अंदर हमको निकालना चाहिए. तो वो है. ठीक है. एंड साकेत ने क्या एक्सप्लेन किया, ओपन इंटरेस्ट के बारे में एक्सप्लेन कर दिया. ऑलराइट. तो अभी हम पोजीशन एंटर करेंगे. राइट साकेत, विल टेक द
Right.
पोजीशंस.
So, yeah, overall, we are just looking for an intraday position where we are going to adjust it. So, we will be light on the position size. So, the thing is, we don't have to place a stop loss and we can continue adjusting till these levels have reached, like how Praful told. So, the position size will be small. And as the market moves, we will also discuss on what adjustments we can be doing after the trade is taken. And then we'll do the trade adjustments accordingly. So, I
Yes.
think maybe we can go ahead with taking the positions, but let's also ask the people who are joining us in what positions they would like to take in this particular market and what is their analysis. So, what do they expect? And we have a pretty good turnout. So, we have around 1,300 people already joining us in. And guys, if you are liking this live stream, then please do hit the like button, and as well as do subscribe to Optionables as well as Alpha Leo Capital channel. The link is put in the description, so don't forget to check that out. You can also follow on other social media platforms as well. So we have a lot of response coming in for straddles and iron fly, and few for strangles, and everybody wants a 40,000 short straddle. So that's what.
सब लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं आज 40,000 ब्रीच होने का। अरे हो गया भाई, इतना मतलब मार्केट ऐसे ऊपर कितना ऊपर चढ़ाओगे, हो गया, सांस लेने दे उसको। चलो
Okay,
स्ट्रैडल स्ट्रैंगल आयरन फ्लाई स्ट्रैडल
and
स्ट्रैडल।
most of it is a 40,000 short straddle is what.
हाँ मतलब ठीक है, तो we'll go with the straddle Saket.
Perfect. I think like how they want, we can maybe go ahead with the 40,000 straddle itself.
ठीक है,
So it
let's go with the
also gives us
40,000 straddle.
yeah. So maybe we'll go ahead with 500 quantity this time. So since we are not placing
हाँ
any
मतलब
stop loss.
क्वांटिटी छोटा रखेंगे so that even they get a
Yeah,
feel for the trade.
perfect. So these are the existing positions. I will just take them out once we actually enter the trade. So I'll just clear all my screen, and it's 40,000 C as well as 40,000 P. So both are trading around. One is trading around 400 as well as one is trading around 275. So I think I'll just short 500 quantity of each, and I will just use a basket order so that we don't have any slippages and execution is easier.
हाँ हमेशा एक और मतलब जो लाइव ट्रेड देख रहे हैं ना, whenever you are executing a multi leg strategy, हमेशा बास्केट यूज करके एग्जिट एंट्री करो और एग्जिट करो, क्योंकि आप एक लेग को एंटर करके दूसरे लेग एंटर करने में आपको जो 10 सेकेंड्स लगने वाला है, देयर इज अ वेरी
Yeah,
हाई पॉसिबिलिटी दैट यू माइट एंड अप पेइंग अ लॉट ऑन स्लिपेजेस, क्योंकि
very
आपने
true.
मान लो कि आपने कॉल शॉर्ट कर लिए एंड आप जाके पुट को ढूंढोगे, पुट में सेल दबाओगे, आप क्वांटिटी एंटर करोगे, इट टेक्स 10 सेकंड्स। उस 10 सेकंड में अगर मार्केट ने 20-30 पॉइंट्स अगर ऊपर स्पाइक कर दिया, so the call will appreciate by around 10 points and the put will depreciate by 10 points. So you'll be entering the trade at a worst possible price. तो
Very
हमेशा
true.
तो हमेशा whenever you're executing any multi-leg strategy, it might be iron fly, it might be strangle, it might be ratio splits, whatever it is, try executing using basket orders so that all the orders get executed simultaneously.
Right, Praful. Then I'll just be placing the basket. I'll just change this to intraday, so I can just sort these two out separately later. So I'll just place the basket, and I think the orders are executed. And in position book, I will just sort it out, the products as intraday. Right. So now we have only these two positions where we have entered 500 quantity of each. And so it's based on the analysis what we have done and also what people have suggested us. And let's hope for the best. We are not going to keep any stop loss. We are also going to manage based on how the market moves. And we have also discussed the criteria when exactly we'll be exiting the trade completely. So since the quantity is less, so this is one thing I would like to also point out, Praful, because many people, the thing is, they shouldn't use this as an example to not place a stop loss or not buy a hedge. So
Correct.
the thing is, the quantity sizing is very low. So what you see here is, even if there is a 200 300 point move, and we might see an MTM of negative 20k 30k, the thing is, on the capital it won't cause a dent. So that is what is really important. If I had gone 5,000 quantity instead of 500, then definitely I wouldn't be trading without a stop loss or without a hedge, because that would be something really disastrous if something goes wrong.
Correct, correct. So everything boils down to your risk appetite, your market bias, your rules, your levels. आप मतलब दुनिया को भूल जाओ। अगर आपको
Right,
कुछ पोजीशन साइजिंग से अगर आपको अनकंफर्टेबल फील हो रहा है, इफ यू आर इन अ स्टेट ऑफ डिस्कंफर्ट बाय जस्ट इमेजिनिंग द काइंड ऑफ लॉस दैट यू वुड टेक, लेट्स से मार्केट 200 पॉइंट इमीडिएटली मूव कर दिया, तो आपको शायद 20,000 लॉस होगा। The
correct,
way Saket looks at 20,000 or the way I look at 20,000 loss and the way someone else, one of you guys, might look at 20,000 loss is completely different. For someone, 20,000 loss is nothing. It can be chiller. अरे 20,000 loss ना, वो तो मैं यूं recover कर दूंगा. For someone, 20,000 loss might be 1% of his capital, which is
right,
a decent thing. For someone, 20,000 loss can be like 5% of the capital.
right.
So
Very
that
true.
is why पहले आता है risk management. Because like how I look at this thing is, देखो, you are in a profit making machine. As I say, option selling is a profitable proposition by default, provided you cut your risk, you manage your risk.
Right. So the thing is, one more thing what I would like to add on to this is, like, with respect to psychological aspect also, like for example,
Mhm.
when you go a quantity which you're uncomfortable holding, or it is causing a lot of M2M swings, so you
Mhm.
would be on your fingers, because the moment you see a loss, okay, you start to worry, okay, my position has already entered the loss, can I take this loss, can I do it or not? And
Mhm.
if the quantity sizing is less, it won't be affecting your mind so much, so the
Correct.
chances of you making irrational decisions is quite low compared to you having a huge position size. That's when feel that you usually end up making irrational decisions.
Correct.
So now, Praful, since we have already entered this trade
Hmm.
and it's 12:50, so let's quickly touch upon few things regarding what would be the ideal kind of adjustment that you would be doing. Later I would tell what would I be doing, and then we will also keep it little more informal. We'll let people ask the questions, and then we are also going to discuss a few more informal things on how we evolved as traders and what is our journey and so on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So there are two ways of, I mean, how I look at it is there are two ways of adjusting this straddles usually. One way is
Okay.
once your stipulated level gets breached, you
Hmm?
either completely close this straddle and shift to a
Hmm?
higher strike or lower strike depending upon where the market is. Basically, you just follow the market with your straddles. मतलब
Right.
40,000 पे हमने straddle बनाया है, let's say market 200 पॉइंट नीचे आ गया या 300 पॉइंट नीचे
Hmm?
आ गया, so we'll
Hmm?
completely shift the straddle to 39,700. अगर market
Okay.
40,200 पे चला गया, तो
Hmm?
we'll shift the straddle to 40,200. We can
Okay.
do that, or
Hmm?
we can convert the straddle into
Hmm?
either a strangle or an inverted strangle.
Right. Right.
तो डिफरेंस क्या है? स्ट्रैडल एक ही स्ट्राइक पे है,
Hmm?
40,000 पे है. लेट्स से मार्केट नीचे आना शुरू कर दिया, तो द 40,000 पुट विल बी इन द मनी एंड इट स्टार्ट्स टू गेन by quite an amount compared to the decay that we get from the call side.
Right.
So we have
Right.
to take the risk off from the side where the market is saying that, bro, I'm moving in this side. Since you have sold the option, the risk is towards this side.
Correct.
What
Correct.
we can do is we can take the 40,000 put option and we keep shifting it lower.
Right. Right.
That is one way of adjusting. But looking at
Hmm?
the premiums, if you look at the premiums, we have already collected close to 600 points, 650 points premium.
Correct. Correct.
So we have 650 point premium. So what
Hmm?
that gives us is that gives us ample space on both the directions.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I wouldn't look for adjusting the position until either of the options go above 450.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so there are two ways of adjusting the positions, right? One is based on
Right.
level. मतलब कुछ major support or resistance breach हो गया, तो of course like now we can see a good amount of unwinding or good amount of short covering in the particular direction. So I'll adjust
Right.
at that point. दूसरा
Right.
प्रीमियम्स के बेसिस पे मैंने 300 रुपए पे मैंने शॉर्ट स्ट्रैडल शॉर्ट किया एंड एक अभी 450 रुपीस पे बन गया एंड दूसरा बन गया 150 रुपीस. So there is a
Correct.
significant amount of skew between both the legs. So if the
Correct.
market continues in the same way, the
Hmm?
amount that the in the money option gains is
Hmm?
much more than the amount this out of the money option would
Right.
lose.
Right. Right.
So your MTM losses start to mount. And the third way, which is my favorite way of adjusting, is based on your psychology. मतलब आप देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे MTM -756 हो रहा है,
Hmm?
-281, -1000 के अंदर है. MTM अभी कॉस्ट टू
Right.
कॉस्ट चल रहा है. अगर
Right.
MTM मान लो कि मेरे को लगता है कि 5000 जैसे टच होगा,
Hmm?
-5000, मान लो
Hmm?
कि मेरे को थोड़ा अनकंफर्टेबल फील हो रहा है.
Right.
Based on the MTM, let's say like if
Hmm?
you are feeling quite some discomfort at a particular level of MTM, you can adjust
Hmm?
your position and rebalance your position and manage your delta in that way as well.
Right. So I can't actually agree more to this, because the adjustments or the idea behind adjustment, even with what we do, is more or less on the similar lines of what Praful has discussed. So the first thing what we would be looking for is to see that these two premiums have some kind of a balance. Otherwise, what usually will happen is one leg will start to gain pretty quickly, whereas other leg won't lose. So these premiums should always have some kind of a balance throughout the time. So if not exactly, at least they shouldn't be too far wide apart. So that would be, again, like as Praful mentioned, that would be one of the ways even we would look at adjusting the position. And the second way, what we would ideally do is we would, like how Praful told, to shift this P downwards. So we would slightly take the other way around, where we start shifting this C much more downwards rather than shifting the P. So that's where, so the essentially it is going to do the same thing. So Praful ends up creating a short strangle, whereas we end up creating a inverted short strangle. So, and the amount of premiums what we have also more or less remains to be the same, the time premium what we have. So only thing is, it's end of the day what you are more comfortable doing. And both, so the thing is, the idea still remains the same, the premiums what we collect still remains the same, so everything more or less still remains the same. So you can see that even though we are using two different approaches, so I don't actually use technical analysis, whereas Praful uses technical analysis, and he doesn't use a lot of open interest, and I end up using a lot of open interest. Still, there is a lot of alignment between our ideas. So maybe with regards to the market support or the market resistance or the way we adjust, so they actually are in line with each other, even though there is a lot of difference.
Now, I want to explain another concept here based on price action. ठीक है?
Right.
Since we have a bullish straddle at 40,000, and
Right.
ये जो लेवल था, this was
Hmm.
kind of a breakout level. यहाँ पे जो मेरे
Right.
लाइन दिख रहा है ना, this is a breakout
Hmm.
level, and it
Hmm.
is a point of confluence of three things.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
is the day's open,
Hmm.
where first time एक fake breakout जैसे हुआ and market फिर से range के अंदर आ गया,
Hmm.
and after that again market went into a consolidation and it reached higher.
Right.
Now the market is again coming back to the same level.
Hmm.
So here there is a 20 moving average as well.
Hmm.
And on a trendy day, the
Hmm.
20 moving average is expected to hold.
Hmm.
And at the same time, we have this pivot as well.
Right.
So this level, whatever the line I drew, this
Hmm.
area becomes quite important to me.
Okay.
So my if I'm adjusting aggressively,
Hmm.
okay, this is very
Hmm.
important. If I'm adjusting aggressively,
Hmm.
if my position size is too high and I don't want to sit on a huge MTM fluctuations, then
Hmm.
जैसे ही मुझे candle इसके नीचे close देगा ना,
Okay.
then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my 40,000 ka straddle and I'm going to sit
Okay.
on 3,800 straddle, wherever the market is exactly at.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the market
Huh.
has again come back into the range, into the day's
Correct.
range,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
there will be good amount of resistance if the market starts heading higher.
Correct.
So most probably I'll be expecting a day something like this.
Right. Right.
So if the candle closes below this, somewhere around
Hmm.
3750 के अगर आसपास आ जाता है, then
Okay.
I'm gonna have to close my 40,000 straddle and come and sit
Okay.
on 3800 straddle, 39,800
Right.
straddle.
Right.
यहाँ पे मैं बैठ जाऊंगा. So that it gives me a good room on either sides. And
Right.
I don't have to lift my finger until either the day's high is breached or the day's low is breached. So that gives me a
Correct.
very good balance in terms of both price action points and in terms of premiums.
Right. So for so a no common doubt what a general person would have, a common person would have. So when you are doing these things, Praful, so do you actually look for, so this only if this straddle is in a profit, I'm going to do this kind of adjustment, or if the straddle is in a loss, I'm going to do some other kind of adjustment. So do you do it something on that basis, or you're like, okay, whatever is the position, it doesn't matter, let me just exit and do a complete shift?
Saket, it is very subjective because it depends on what day it is.
Right.
If it is on a Friday, I'm sitting
Hmm.
on very good amount of premiums, so I don't
Hmm.
have to do that quite rapid adjustments. इतना जल्दी इतना aggressively मुझे risk manage करना नहीं पड़ता है. But if it's on
Right.
a Thursday,
Hmm.
even an out of the money can immediately become at the money, and in the matter of no time it can become in the money. So that gamma
Right.
moves will
Right.
kill me.
Right. Right.
So I have to be very aggressive in managing my positions as we approach the expiry.
Right.
because the premiums are low, the gamma moves are rampant, the gamma moves are dominant, and I'll be
Correct.
sitting on peanut premiums. But
Correct.
why do
Correct.
we trade in spite of the fact that we are collecting low premiums? Because of the fact that all the OTM options go to zero on an expiry.
Correct. Right.
And no matter what IV spike happens, no matter अगर VIX 20 भी बढ़ जाएगा, अगर
Hmm.
VIX if VIX shoots up by 25% on an expiry, it
Hmm.
doesn't affect us because
Right.
options का intrinsic value should go to zero on a Thursday.
Right. Right. So actually, to be honest, the premiums are also quite good, considering the VIX has also shot up almost 10%. Today morning, the surprising thing was, so we had this community trade thing, and I was expecting a lot of TK in the options to happen during the morning. But when I open, the prices are almost close to the Friday's level itself, so they really haven't changed. So that's when I saw the VIX, and I'm like, okay, it's up by 10%. So the thing is, even if we end up seeing some kind of a VIX cool down happening towards the end of the session, we can expect some good amount of premium decay to happen. And like you rightly mentioned, maybe we can have our first adjustments once it starts breaching 450 level. So once it comes to
750
450,
levels.
no, I mean to say the premium 40,000
Premium
P
basis. Okay,
premium.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds good.
yeah. So maybe we can shift this lower and convert this into a triangle. So what do you prefer at this level, Praful? So do you prefer shifting the entire straddle or converting this to a triangle?
I would. There is no preference actually. It depends on what when it happens. Let's say like if it happens somewhere around
Okay.
2:30 or something,
Hmm?
I know that I'll be in the trade for another 30 minutes or 35 minutes, correct maximum,
Correct.
because we have to start unwinding our positions by 3:10, 3:15.
Correct.
So probably I'd risk off at that point.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wouldn't take any additional risk by shifting the straddle itself. That point, like I'll
Okay.
just say that okay, bro, like I'm already sitting on a decent MTM gain. इतना
Hmm.
अच्छा
Hmm.
थीटा डीके मिल गया है. Now I'm gonna
Right.
cut my risk off, and I'll just convert this into a strangle by cutting out my losing leg.
Okay.
That would be
Okay.
the approach. And coming
Okay.
to strangle and an inverted strangle, which would be my choice. If
Hmm?
it's not an expiry day, I would prefer converting a straddle into a strangle. क्योंकि inverted
Okay.
strangle में क्या हो जाता है? Since we are dealing with an instrument with higher premium, you end up
Correct.
paying a lot of charges and government
Correct.
taxes.
Correct. Correct.
But inverted strangle works really well
Hmm?
during the expiries because it
Hmm?
is kind of immune to gamma moves to a certain extent.
Right. Right.
OTM options कैसे आपको आई थिंक लाइक लॉट ऑफ पीपल वुड बी एबल टू रिलेट टू दिस 2 रुपए का ऑप्शन 20 रुपीज पहुंच जाता है OTM
Correct.
options जहां पे गामा मूव होता है बट इफ यू आर एन इन्वर्टेड ट्रायंगल the probability of that happening is slightly lower. It's kind of slightly immune to those kinds of gamma moves. So inverted triangle makes more sense on expiry days than on the normal days.
Correct. Correct. So one more thing, guys. The thing is the capital which we would have used will be most likely around 30 lakh for 20 lots, because assuming that 1 lakh requires around 1.5 lakh. So we are going to have a total MTM of around 35 to 40,000. So the moment we breach that, we will just cut off the position. And right now, as we have discussed, that we have two ways to adjust this position. One is that we shift this put leg downward as the market starts to fall. Otherwise, we can just cut off this entire leg and shift the entire straddle towards 39,800. So right now, as Praful rightly mentioned, so he would be shifting it to a strangle if it is towards the end of the day, because you don't have a lot of time, you don't have to keep it for a lot of time, you can just come out of the position within next half an hour. But for this situation, Praful, assuming that we reach our target of 450, so which
Mhm.
we are most likely to hit, so
Okay.
here at this point, do you prefer moving this downward, or the entire straddle, or maybe closing this off and creating a maybe something like 39,500 or 600 puts?
So probably I'd shift the straddle itself because let's say like if the
Okay.
puts start to reach 450, then probably we'd
Hmm?
be trading somewhere around 39,700 levels.
Correct.
So which is exactly the center of the day's initial balance. मतलब डेज
Correct.
का जो रेंज बना है 40,000 and 30,500 उसका exact center पे आ जाता है. Then that straddle would be very beautifully balanced to actually take care of the entire day's range. तो जब तक market day's range के अंदर रहता है, I don't have to lift my finger itself.
Right. Right. So then I will just do one thing meanwhile. Why? So the thing is, just squaring off takes a second of time. All I have to do ready is keep one more straddle ready. So I can just keep it in the basket order, always ready. So whenever we want, we can just shoot the orders and we don't have to spend a lot of time. So here I'll just keep the basket of 38,800 ready, and we will start shifting the positions once we feel it's uncomfortable to hold, maybe around 460, 470. We will just cut this straddle out and we'll just come in closer.
Yes. Another thing, what you mentioned is
Hmm?
you said that once you reach a particular amount of MTM, you're ready to
Hmm?
cut the position. So,
Yeah,
agar aapne, people like who have not watched my latest video on the psychology, I say the same thing. Basically, you have to visualize the worst possible thing. Don't visualize
right,
the profits. When you're in
right,
option selling, profit is by default. So visualize the worst possible thing. मतलब आपको कहाँ तकलीफ होगा.
right,
Play that simulation in the mind and be ready for that situation. So
right,
that like you won't double think. You don't second
correct.
guess it. अगर 30,000 मेरा loss हो रहा है, तो I
Hmm?
won't think twice before cutting out my position because I'm there. I'm mentally there
Correct.
because I've played
Absolutely right.
that thing in my mind before that happens in the real world.
Yeah, I can't agree more than more to that. So it's absolutely what you're telling. So even we also work on similar lines. So actually, we have there are a lot of stories which we can share from our experiences as well as to
Yeah,
why
yeah,
exactly we have developed this kind of mindset over time. And before which, guys, so we have around 1,600 people joining us in for this live stream. And if you're liking the stream, then please do hit the like button. It will only take a couple of seconds for you to do that, and this by doing this, the video will also get pushed to more number of people. The YouTube algo will push that, and more number of people will be getting the reach to watch this video, right? So with that, Praful, now we'll just have some informal talks as well as discussions, and we'll also bring in the audience to this.
चलो क्वेश्चंस
So
लेंगे.
yeah, exactly. So people can start posting their questions, what they like. So we have already discussed about what exactly we'll be doing with the markets. So if there's any move beyond which we are uncomfortable holding, maybe towards 460, 470, we'll cut off this leg and we'll shift our straddles. So now we can already, yeah. So now you can also start asking the questions, and meanwhile, I'll just have a look at the markets and we'll start addressing the questions as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right. So we have a lot of questions coming in from
So
basic
before taking
questions.
these questions, we'll go
Yeah.
over that your community post that you posted. Like there were some good questions in on that community post as well.
Okay. Do you want me to open here, or how do you want
If
to
you
go
can
about it?
open, you can open, or we
Yeah,
can
I'll do that.
use our phones
Uh,
to get the questions.
yeah.
Both works.
Okay. So we have two post profile. So we have like
Yeah.
in which were the questions there? So you can I'll
I
just
think it's the
open
first,
here.
it's the latest one. It's the latest one. This
Okay.
one, yes. I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we have advantages of inverted short triangle when VIX rises more than 5%. Is it better to skip the particular trading day? I think we can start sharing our opinions on the same. We have
Yeah,
quite a
cool.
lot of questions. Yeah,
So, pehle question, when the VIX rises by more than 5% intraday, is it better to skip trading that particular day? तो पहले चीज भाई तुम्हें कैसे पता कि whether the VIX will rise today or VIX will cool off today? First thing. ये
right,
ऐसे हो गया कि अरे भाई मार्केट तो ट्रेंडी था, why didn't you just sell the puts? Why did you still trade in the non-directional trade? Because that thing becomes evident only after that event has completed. No, when that event has happened, only then you'll know that हाँ VIX 10% बढ़ गया, market trendy हो
right,
गया, market ने V move कर दिया. So it's all hindsight bias. It's all hindsight analysis. But
right,
what you can do is whenever VIX rises, of course, your non-directional trades or any short option trades, basically option selling, it'll of course it'll either not make much of the profits depending upon what day it is. Let's say like you're on a Wednesday or a Thursday, probably your weekly options won't get affected by the VIX rise. The VIX mostly
Right.
affects later dated options. But if you're on
Correct.
a Friday or a Monday, then probably you have some amount of effect of VIX on your current week positions.
Correct.
So
Correct.
during those days, what you can do is you can wait for the IV to cool off by maintaining strict ranges. मतलब base range breach होते ही आपको exit करना है because the IV is also spiking. The option premiums are not cooling off. There is a good amount of IV spike. DK नहीं हो रहा है. And at the same time, you should not try to manage the positions a lot. You have to, at one point, you have to say that like, okay, today is not the day for option sellers. DK is not happening. VIX is spiking, so I'll exit. So this is
Right.
where putting your risk management in the driver's seat of your trade comes into picture. हमें
Right.
पता नहीं है क्या होने वाला है आगे. अगर कोई आपको बोल रहा है कल मार्केट में ये होगा, कल मार्केट में वो होगा, इधर वो भगवान है या वो आपको चूतिया बना रहा
True.
है. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. Like we try to follow the market and we try to manage our risk. Risk management is always the driver of our trading decisions.
Definitely. So
So
definitely.
what's your opinion on this?
So again, coming to VIX, we while we are trading, so let's say I'm taking a positional trade or an intraday trade, so I don't actually look at the VIX. What my perspective to the this thing is, so if the volatility is high, you're always given a compensation with higher premiums. So people are not going to say the VIX is high, but I'm going to give you the same premium when the VIX was 8 or 10. So the thing is, as the VIX rises, as the IV rises, you are compensated with higher premiums. So I feel that always the risk is properly adjusted with the premiums. So whatever risk they are discounting, whatever VIX, sorry, risk the VIX is suggesting. So for example, a 17 VIX usually suggests a 17 one standard deviation move of 17% in a year for Nifty. So the thing is, the premiums would have been ideally made in such a way that it will be discounting this amount of risk. And I am comfortable trading almost all the time, whether the VIX is high or VIX is low. When the VIX is low, you get lesser premiums because the market movement is
But the
lesser.
market
And when the,
volatility will be,
yeah,
equivalent to that kind of mix.
exactly. And when the VIX is high, you always get higher premiums, and the market movement will also be high. So I feel that uh, uh, particularly we don't use VIX as a criteria to trade because we always believe that however the market moves, based on the volatility, we will be compensated with the right amount of premium.
Okay. So मेरा opinion ये है कि
Hmm?
when you're trading on Monday and on Friday, the
Hmm?
VIX does have a considerable amount of impact on your positions, considering the fact that we have another 3, 4, 5 days to go into expiry. But
Right.
once we start trading Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, and Thursday, VIX has pretty much almost zero significance on your listing, except the fact
Right.
that if you have an event coming on a Thursday, then probably the option premiums won't decay overnight. I
Correct.
mean, won't decay through Wednesday trading session. They'll decay just overnight.
Correct. Correct. So, Praful, we can actually start taking one from the YouTube live section as well as
Sure,
one
sure,
from
sure.
the this thing. So, we have one more question coming in from Sumit, who is asking you, Praful sir, why don't you take any positional trades, and is there any reason? So, what is your take on this?
आ, देखो लाइक आई लाइक माई लाइफ स्टाइल. ठीक है, मुझे 2 बजे के बाद ना, 1-2 बजे के बाद मुझे ट्रेड के बारे में मतलब कुछ सोचना नहीं है. एंड व्हेन आई हैव I, it's not like I never take positional trades. I take positional trades, but my exposure is not more than 15 to 20% of my capital. And that too,
Right.
even with the 20% of the capital also comes with a hedged position. I never take
Correct.
naked position because अरे चेन की नींद चाहिए यार. पैसे तो सब
Right.
बनाते हैं, right? But make
Right.
money, but not at the cost of your lifestyle, not at the cost of your mental peace. So मुझे ये से नहीं चाहिए कि मतलब रात भर देख के मेरे को SGX निफ्टी क्या हो गया, डाउ जोन्स क्या हो
Correct.
गया,
Correct.
क्रिप्टो मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है, कुछ कैस्केडिंग इफेक्ट हो रहा है क्या दूसरा मार्केट से, वो सब नहीं करना है मुझे. एंड इवन इफ आई टेक एनी पोजिशनल ट्रेड्स, आई मेक श्योर दैट लेट्स से इवन इफ अ ब्लैक स्वेन इवेंट हैपेंस, लोगों का हाँ ये बोलना था कि मतलब लोग अज्यूम करते हैं कि भाई मार्केट क्रैश तो हो गया, अभी नेक्स्ट
Hmm.
4 साल तक नहीं होने वाला मार्केट क्रैश, नेक्स्ट 5 साल तक नहीं होने वाला मार्केट क्रैश. यू
Yeah.
नेवर नो.
Yeah.
The crash
Yeah.
need not be 50% or 30% crash. Like if the market just gaps down by 3 or 4%,
3%. Exactly.
the VIX will just the VIX will be all over the place. The option IVs will be all over the place. You will take a significant loss on your capital.
Right. Right. Very
So
true.
that's the thing. Like I, even though I take positional trades, sometimes like iron flies ये वो बनाता हूँ कभी कभी. But the thing is
Hmm.
like I don't keep my exposure more than 15 to 20%.
Okay. That would be the ideal thing, because even when we take positional trades, we don't use all our capital in one trade where, like, that it is a hit or a miss. Like if you miss, you're going to have such a huge loss that you're not comfortable bearing. So even though your view goes completely wrong and you like it's absolutely wrong, you need to have some this thing to say, okay, this loss I'm quite comfortable bearing this. I like it is not going to affect me much. So I feel that in positional trade that can be only controlled by the proper position sizing.
Okay, there is this
So
interesting question.
yeah.
Sir, any guidance for new traders or want to get into trading but don't know where to get that learning from? What would you suggest?
The thing is, there are two aspects which I would like to bring to this. Before which, Praful, so I just want to take I want to know your take on the positions. Do you want them to be shift, or do we continue holding this as we are approaching 470?
Okay, I didn't see where the market is. I think it's
Okay.
better to shift to 37, 39,700 or 39,800 straddle now that we have a proper day's range.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that should
I
make
think
sense right now.
cool. Then I'll just do this. So right now we are having a MTM of negative 13. So we'll just square off everything and we'll just make a quick shift towards 17,800. Maybe I can just hold on to 17, sorry, 37, 39,800. Bank Nifty has moved up so quickly that you're still in the range zone of 37, 36.
Correct, correct, correct.
So I will be going ahead with 39,800, because we will more or less end up maintaining a little same bias of what we had. If I go with 700, bias would be completely changed.
Cool, cool, cool. Because like we have another swing at
Yeah,
39,650. If you can see that, I'll just take over your screen for a
yeah,
second.
sure, sure, sure,
Saket.
sure, sure, sure.
See, यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे एक और minor swing है. If you can see this, oh, sorry, look at this. यहाँ पे एक minor swing है, 39,644. So 39,800 straddle should hold at least up till this swing is breached. And of course, up till the day's high is breached. So 39,800 should make more sense now.
So let's quickly go ahead. And the premiums are also quite well balanced, is what I would say. So 500, 500, both are on intraday, and I'm just going to click on sell. So right now we have booked a loss of 13,000 and we have entered two fresh positions. So again, one thing you can see here is that we have maintained a low position size. So that's the reason. If this was 5,000 guys, then the loss would be 1,50,000 right now. So we are working without stop, because you know that even you have a proper trade plan saying that if this particular thing happens, I'm going to exit. If this particular thing happens, or if this particular thing breaches, I'm just going to cut it off. So you have a proper trade plan defined, and you're able to stick on to this, because you know that even if there's a 200-point gap, like suddenly you don't get a chance to react, this loss is not going to shoot up to say 10 lakh or 5 lakh. Even with a 200-point fall, it is going to be well within the range that you're comfortable holding. So that's where the position size matters. And yeah, sorry to add that on, and go back to the questions.
No, 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 that was required,
Yeah.
no?
So one more thing before moving on. So what I would like to say is these trades which we are taking is only for educational purpose. So before so the thing is, if you want to intend to learn, or if you want to learn, then do try this in virtual trading. So I would request not to use your real money and try it in real account, right? So otherwise, if you want to do so, then do consult your financial advisor once before taking any trade in your real account. And one more thing, so we have around 850 likes, but we have close to 1,600 people joining us in. So if you are liking this live stream, guys, do hit the like button and also comment, give a cheer for Praful for joining and also teaching us how to trade. So you can also follow his channel as well as other social media handles. The link is put in the description, so don't forget to check that out as well. So with that, we'll be quickly moving on to the questions. So the question what we had was, as a beginner, how exactly you should learn. So for this, I have two aspects. The thing is, the entire concept of options, to be honest, like how this time decay works, or what exactly is a time value, what exactly is the intrinsic value, this I was able to understand after I read Zero the Varsity, because I had absolutely no idea what these are or how to go about them. So once I read Zero the Varsity, so this is in 2016 time, so the 2016-17 time, that's when I started to get this. Okay, this is how option works, so this is why sellers make money and I am losing money. So otherwise I never used to understand, the market is going up, why is my call option not going up? Because you're only told that if the market shoots up, your call option will go up. So then I realized that even after reading that, now I understood what exactly is happening, but I still couldn't be profitable right away, because I knew the concepts well, but only a thing that I lacked was, I didn't have the psychological. So I was not in the right psychological perspective to take the trades, and so even though I knew the seller had a like higher probability, seller will win more, the moment I start to go under a loss, I used to fear. Okay, like I'm already losing and I have so much risk, so I'm just going to cut off my position. So after I started practicing, after I started taking real trades, so that's when over time I realized that it's not just about what the books teach you, it's also about practice. So it's more like swimming. I can tell you how exactly, if you want to do a butterfly stroke or a normal backstroke, you can read a book, you can understand what is the idea behind a butterfly stroke or this thing, but if I push you into the water, till you actually swim, you won't get to know. Like, you can't read a book and swim, so you have to actually dive into the pool to swim.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because like there is no two ways about it. You have to get your hands dirty, and तभी तो मतलब आपको experience मिलेगा.
Right.
Because I think there is a lot of gap between what the books and what the courses teach about options and what actually happens in the options market. Because a
Correct.
lot of people get stuck with these Greeks, alpha, delta, beta, gamma,
Correct.
theta, sab,
Correct.
dunya bhar ke. But the
Mm,
thing is, like, you have to understand that options market be just like any other market, supply and demand पे काम करता है.
correct. Correct.
जो अगर ऑप्शन ने शॉर्ट किया है, अगर उसको डर लग रहा है, उस ऑप्शन को कवर करेगा. विथ
Correct.
व्हाट अर्जेंसी ही कवर्स, उसके ऊपर मतलब ऑप्शन कितना ऊपर भागेगा वो डिपेंड करता है.
Very true. Very true.
So all your delta, gamma, theta, they don't work like they are just retrofitting model. मतलब क्या है,
Correct. Correct.
कुछ हो रहा है दुनिया में, उसको एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए तुमको एक मैथमेटिकल वे में उसको एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा, उसको फिट करना पड़ेगा, तो बोल रहा है.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely right.
So another thing, like this guy Hemant Chopra, like he has been like constantly texting me, Bank Nifty under 20 moving average should sell. Please explain this strategy. Hemant, like I didn't get your question. What do you mean should sell? Like, do you want to initiate a sell position now, or do you want to make an adjustment to your existing position? So probably he'll come back with that. We'll take another question.
Cool. Cool. So before that, Praful, like I liked what you said regarding the option Greeks. So like I would like to give one more analogy for the same. So the thing is, so I came across this where they say, like, option Greeks is more like, for example, to drive a car, right? You really don't have to understand how a car engine works. So how many of us actually know how a car engine works? Not really. At least I don't know how a car engine works, but I know to drive a car. So the thing is, Greeks are those things which, without which you can still become a successful trader. So they are just a this
Of
thing.
course.
If you know them, you will understand what exactly is happening. So the thing is, if I know to drive a car, if I change a gear, so I will understand what exactly is happening within the car. So if an
Correct.
option price is going up from 50 to 100, so I will, if I know Greeks, I will just understand what are the factors which are actually like making the option price shoot up.
Yeah.
So I can absolutely trade without having to know it. So, so Greeks are, as you rightly mentioned, they are just fit in factors as an explanation of why exactly things happen. Right. So, with that, we'll also go ahead with the further questions. So, is there any question that you would like to take up, Praful?
कोई बोल रहा है सर ट्रेडिंग छोड़ो डाइट प्लान बताओ अरे भाई कोई डाइट प्लान नहीं है यार इट्स जस्ट लाइक यू आस्किंग फॉर अ डाइट प्लान इज लाइक हाउ मेजॉरिटी पीपल आस्क फॉर अ ट्रेडिंग स्ट्रेटजी देयर इज नो स्ट्रेटजी
So
इट
actually, we'll do
कंप्लीटली
this thing, Praful. Like, even I am quite curious to know about your fitness journey, how it has impacted trading, all those. So why don't you share what is your like fitness routine and how, like, from how long have you been doing it and how it has impacted your trading?
ओके फिटनेस रूटीन ऐसे नहीं है आई वर्क
Hmm?
आउट आई एम सॉरी आई वर्क आउट लाइक 5 days a week
Okay.
2-3 दिन वैसे ही मिस हो जाता है
Huh?
because expiry day पे like once most of the days my trading gets over at 10 11 12 like people who follow me like they know that like it's either 10 11 level के अंदर like I book some minor profits or minor losses break even खत्म
Okay.
करता हूँ like only on expiry days I trade till 3:30 so
Okay.
that's why
Okay.
like and I have a habit of taking 2 hour naps in the afternoon
Okay.
so on
Okay.
that day like I don't work out but apart from that 5 to 6 days a week I work out and there is
Okay.
nothing like diet plan and all that I eat pretty much everything as of now like I'm eating coconut cookies तो ऐसे कुछ diet plan वाइट plan नहीं है the thing is like
Huh?
people tend to make things complicated not just in trading but in every aspect of life they think that
Right.
like there is a magic pill there is a holy grail there is this holy diet plan like which can completely transform them there is a holy strategy which can completely transform their trading nahi hai like simple things definitely work but the thing is consistency this is
Correct.
the differentiating factor like if you can't be consistent doesn't matter like how advanced the strategies how advanced the diet tip is it's going to work for the short term but over the long term like it's going to fall apart
Correct. Correct.
and another question is like what how fitness has helped in my trading same like consistency
Hmm.
एक दिन में
So,
तुम्हारा सिक्स पैक एप्स एक दिन में तुम्हारा एप्स नहीं आएगा सिमिलरली एक दिन में
right.
तुम प्रॉफिटेबल ट्रेडर बनोगे नहीं
Right. Right.
अगर स्टेरॉइड वराइड यूज करके आपने 3-4 महीने में बॉडी बनाओगे तो लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट रहेगा सिमिलरली टिप्स लेके आप ट्रेड करोगे तो कभी ना कभी रोड पे आओगे शॉर्टकट्स है नहीं कंसिस्टेंसी मैटर करता है एंड कीप इट सिंपल एंड बी इन इट फॉर द लॉन्ग हॉल
Hmm.
ऐसे नहीं कि मतलब मेरी बहन की शादी आ रही है तो शादी में मुझे अच्छा लगना है तो मैं जिम ज्वाइन कर लिया तीन
Right.
महीने
Right.
के लिए और
Very true.
उसके बाद
Very
फिर
true.
से मतलब सब छोड़ दिया
Very true.
ऐसे
So
नहीं
that's
होता
what,
ना
yeah, that's what my most of my friends also want to do. Right before some function, they're like, okay, I'm looking fat. Maybe I should go join. Right. So then, Praful, like we all know that you were working in a central government job also.
या
So
या
the
या
thing is, we want to know what actually pushed you to become a trader, like leave the central government job, and like you're pretty good at academics. So what actually pushed you to leave this job and join trading? So what was the thing you found in trading so attractive that it pushed you towards?
सी ट्रेडिंग में मेरे को इतना ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है नहीं जितना तुम लोगों को है बिकॉज लाइक आई इफ आई एम राइट लाइक यू स्टार्टेड ट्रेडिंग व्हेन सिंस यू आर इन 8th स्टैंडर्ड
Right, right.
so you have a lot of experience under your belt but I don't have trading that much experience in trading per se though I started recently but I used to play a lot of card games which
Okay,
involved probability
okay,
and I used to be a constant visitor to casino
okay.
so these concepts of probability and all that I was pretty familiar with and the
Hmm?
thing is then I started realizing that government job mein, though it is like secure and middle class ka favorite darling hai and all that but there is limited upside over the long
Hmm.
run you wouldn't do much there like the growth curve just stagnates
Okay, okay.
and then I thought like why should I not try my hands here and as of now like it's working out pretty well
That's amazing. That's
but तुम्हारा story काफी गजब है यार मतलब you have seen like all sorts of ups and downs in your life like तुमने जो स्टोरी बता रहा था ना, कौन सा वो 20 लाख की लॉस इन अ सिंगल डे, तो वो बताओ,
Yeah,
वो मजा
actually,
मजा आया करो।
if you look at in so the thing is we have two major losses, to be honest. So
हम्म,
in percentage wise, it's the Nirmala Sitharaman candle which gave us the highest loss. But if
हम्म।
you because back then we had lesser capital, so in percentage wise that gave us the highest loss.
उस दिन
But
मेरा भी हुआ था, एक 1.2 है, 1.3 लाख लॉस मेरा भी हुआ था।
I don't remember the like amount exactly, but I think we had lost close to 30-35% of our capital straight away. So even this 2020 COVID crash was actually a completely so this COVID crash actually changed our perspective completely because
हम्म,
during Nirmala Sitharaman time we had very less capital. So the thing is, even though we lost capital, when someone actually gave put some additional investment, that entire loss was recovered. So we never really felt the heat. Okay, like okay, so we have actually lost a big sum. But in during this 2020, so that was an amazing experience, which literally changed our entire trading journey. So
हम्म,
before which we used to short a lot of quantity. Like we had absolutely no control over our quantity sizing or position sizing. We just used
हम्म,
to because there was 20x leverage. No like margin penalty if you overshoot your margin. So
हम्म।
nicely short, far out of money option. Collect few pennies and place a stop loss. If you get it right, you get it right. Otherwise, it will hit the stop loss. And it's like 1:1 risk to reward, 80% probability, something like that. So this worked out well for a long time. To be honest, this worked out well for close to 6 to 8 months. Everything was going quite well, and so this was the time during COVID. The crash had
ओके।
already started.
हम्म,
So Bank Nifty had already crashed from 33,000 and odd to close to 26,000 and odd.
हम्म,
So the thing is, on 23rd or 21st of March, I don't remember, it was an expiry day. So
ओके,
this time, what happened was market opened gap down. So the market had already opened a gap down of close to somewhere close to 3 or 4%, around 1,100 points gap down Bank Nifty. And Bank Nifty was trading around 25,700. So
ओके।
then, okay, like the premiums were insane. The VIX was also very high, and the premiums were insane. So
फिक्स तो
this
सिक्सटी
time,
सेवेंटी के आसपास रहेगा ना?
yeah, it was very high, and markets were crashing so much. We had never seen a real market crash, and that was the first time we experienced what a real market crash is. So the thing is, we saw Bank Nifty is already down 4%. So how much
हम्म,
more can Bank Nifty fall? So can it fall 5% or 6%? We are like because we never like imagine the markets can actually end up falling more than 10%. So that was not in our heads at all because till that day never in my like trading career of close to 6-7 years never ever have we experienced a fall of more than 7%, sorry, 10%. So now what happened was we saw 24,000 put options, which was almost close to 1,700 points away from where the market was trading. And we were like, okay, so market is already down 4%. I don't expect the market will come down 10-12% and all. So it only happened during a 2009 crash. So this COVID and all is not 2009. So definitely it's not going to happen. So we nicely started shorting 24,000 puts. But the thing is, we could have shot at calls anytime, and any call would have given us profit. But no, why? Because put is offering us 3 times more premium than calls. So why would you go for calls? Just go short puts.
लालच।
So, so we nicely shot at 24,000 puts. And we're like, bro, the market won't fall below 24,000. Don't keep stop loss also. We have nicely shorted it around 100-120 range and no stop loss also. We are holding on to the position. So the market now came to 25,300, 25,400. And we are like, okay, so still another 1,400 points to go. So I am not expecting the market will come down so much. So then again, we did nothing, waited. So then the market came towards 25,000. We're like, okay, bro, 25,000 is a psychological support. It is not going to break that in any cost. Hold on to your 24,000 puts, but still 1,000 points away. It's already down by 6-7%. So do you expect another 5% crash? Definitely not. So then
Mm-hmm.
the market actually started to break that level also. So this is when we actually started to uh, so panic, not exactly panic. We started to realize that 35,000 might not actually hold like the way we were thinking, and the market was around 24,600. Sorry, why am I saying 35,000? 25,000 might not hold. So it started coming down towards 24 400, 500. So this is when we realized, okay, something is happening. We are going to get completely ruined if we don't do something. So that's when we started shorting far out of money calls. But the thing is, there was no premiums for call side. It was only on the put side. So then again, it started falling, 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 and now it actually hit 24,000. So this is when you're like, oh shit, what to do, what to do. And so then the market broke 24,000 also, and suddenly there was a huge sell off in the market, and we assumed that at 10% there will be a circuit breaker. But we realized that later on that circuit breaker only comes for Nifty and it doesn't come for Bank Nifty. So this time we realized, oh shit, then we have calculated something really wrong, and like today is gone. Like it's absolutely messed up.
उस पॉइंट पे तुम्हारा एमटीएम कितना दिख रहा था? हाउ मच वाज योर
Uh,
एमटीएम लॉस?
so when it hit around 24,000, it was around 7-8 lakh. We could have still cut it off, like nothing big.
Okay,
So we
just
could
to
have
give
still.
the perspective, what was your capital?
So back then the capital was around 60-65 lakh, and this was already, we had already hit around 10% of our capital.
Okay.
So but yeah, so the thing is, we had already hit 10% and we should have been out of this position, but no, we just continued to hold, expecting that okay, something will happen, we will just come up and like some magic will happen and we are going to recover. So then the market suddenly fell, and this is when the losses started to mount up. So from 7-8 lakh, we went to 10, 11, 12, and so on. And finally, the thing is, the market came down to 23 600 or 580 or something around that level, and the put option shot up to 480 rupees, and the MTM had gone insanely high. Like we absolutely had no clue what to do. Only thing we were doing instead of cutting the position is sitting and praying, please let the market bounce above 24,000. And so then what happened?
Okay,
Luckily for
now
us,
looking at the
huh,
looking that in the hindsight,
huh,
what made you hold on to a position, the one which
huh,
you shorted, like which was deep out of the money, which was 1,700 points out of the money?
yeah,
What
huh.
made you hold on to the position even when your strike is deep in the money? What made
Right.
you like?
So the thing is, like in the beginning of the day, during the beginning of the day, you were sort of fixated that market is not going to fall below 24,000. So the thing is, as your M2M loss started increasing, right? So you started to go to 2 lakh, 3 lakh. So you only wish that, okay, now the M2M loss is 3 lakh. Let it at least come to 1.5 lakh. I will cut my position.
Hmm.
So this way you started waiting. So once it became 6 lakh, you wished, oh, let it at least bounce back till say 3 lakh. I'm just definitely going to cut my positions. I can't
वो
take
कभी
the
होगा
loss of
नहीं वो.
6 lakh. Yeah,
It's
it will
either
never
account
happen.
wipe out or you'll
Yeah,
भगवान बचाएगा तुम्हें बस.
yeah, it will never happen. And the thing is, even if it happens, you're like, okay, from 6 lakh you have come to 3 lakh. That means from 3 lakh you can also go down to zero. Why do you want to exit? So this is how, like, it's very. So the thing is, once your loss goes beyond a point, your psychology gets completely affected, and you won't be able to, like, you literally won't be able to listen to your own this thing.
Hmm.
So
Correct.
Praful, I just want to like address one thing. So there was a super chat which we missed.
Correct,
So
correct,
the
correct. Ask
yeah, I
him to ask
think
the question, we can answer that.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's Mr. Rowe. We missed the super chat. So
So what I would advise is never get fixated about your position. That's it.
Correct. Very true. Very true.
And why we another thing like what I've noticed is most people why they get fixated to their position is they equate their self-esteem, they equate their self-worth to
Very
being
true. Very
right.
true. Like you don't want to be wrong. You don't
Correct. You
want
don't
to.
want to be wrong. मतलब
Yeah.
भाई
Yeah.
wrong होने में कोई problem नहीं है. पैसे गवाने
Right.
में problem है.
Correct. Very true. Very
You
true.
are here not to satisfy your ego. Like if you are here for the ego game, markets will throw
Correct.
you sooner than you think.
100%. No doubt. No doubt about it.
So
So
you're here to make money and be as fluid as possible, be as agile as possible. That's it.
that's the way to go also, like you're 100% right about that. So then the thing is, luckily for us, we saw some bounce in the market happening from, like, it took some support at 23,500 and bounced back to 23,800, and we are like done. So this is we are going to come out of all the positions, no more holding on, because the loss had gone so big, and finally we exited around 18 lakh, I guess. So that was 18 to 19 lakh, around 20 lakh. So that
Mhm.
almost wiped out close to 25% of our capital. So that was the
Wow.
biggest loss we took. And that day, the psychology was affected to such an extent that you had absolutely no idea. Like, why didn't you just short a call option? Any call option you would have shorted, you would have made money. But all you found was to short a put option and hold on to that even if the market is crashing. And
Mhm.
then one more thing we learned from then is position sizing. So we thought that,
Correct.
like,
I think
so the
it's
thing is,
position sizing is much more important than your strategy or setup, like whatever
right,
you call it.
right, right. Praful, I will just check if you can see any super chat because I,
No, but like I've been seeing like some questions like which are repetitive. So one guy is
but
asking, should we close a profitable trade after we reach a certain percentage, or should we hold it till the end of the day?
okay. One second. Sorry, Praful, I was just
Yeah, yeah, no, no,
looking
no
for.
problem, no problem. Okay, I
Okay.
think he asked when an option
Yeah.
seller can make 1%
uh,
profit per week with Iron Condor with 2K points in Bank Nifty, why you prefer intraday straddles and adjustments? Does it give more than 50% per annum? Definitely,
huh.
definitely. So how I look at it is you stand a great deal of chance making money on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I don't want my capital to be blocked on Wednesdays and Thursdays in positional trades. This is completely it has a very strong personal bias to this. It's completely it sits with me. I'm
Right,
comfortable doing intraday trades, but for a positional trader, yes, you can constantly make. I mean, I wouldn't say constantly. You would generally make like 1% per week easily.
right, right,
But if you look at the expiry trades, taking out 1.52% is quite doable. And considering the fact that we have Fin Nifty expiry is also coming, and that Fin Nifty expiry is happening on Tuesdays, so we essentially get two expiries to trade with.
right.
So that way, um, I personally prefer intraday trades. That
Hmm?
way, I don't have to give up my sleep checking SGX Nifty and like world markets and stuff like that. But again, it completely depends on person to person. Like if you're a job goer, if you have any other business and you can't dedicate a significant chunk of your time looking at the charts and managing your positions, positional is the way to go.
Right, right. So actually, to add on to that, we were doing both positional as well as intraday.
Hmm.
So the thing is, like, so we actually were following a system of this 30% stop loss after 1 o'clock, and
Hmm.
that worked really well for us. And that's we also made a video on that on YouTube. So then
Okay.
what happened as this leverage started to become an issue? So
Hmm.
we started lot of volatile movements in the market, and this
Hmm.
30% stop loss would get triggered within few minutes of your trade entry. So I don't know
Correct.
how the
Correct.
things, yeah, things have changed right now, but
No,
it would
I'll tell
literally.
you. I have this
Huh?
opinion for from my side. Okay, like sorry to
Okay.
interrupt
No, no,
because
no,
अब
not
देखो,
at all. Huh?
if you have seen the growth of trading gurus,
Hmm?
trading channels, trading content, trading related courses and stuff. So
Hmm?
basically, everybody is teaching option selling. Everybody is teaching straddles, triangles, and stuff. So
Right.
unless you actually understand how to manage the risk and how to manage your positions, whatever the setups you have, like the popular one is the 920 straddle. 920
Correct.
पे straddle enter करो, 50% stop loss लगा लो, जो stop loss hit
Correct.
हुआ उसको काट दो, and then the other leg you keep trailing.
Correct.
But there
Correct.
is no free lunch. Okay,
Hmm.
that might
Hmm.
have worked before when not many people were doing it. But now that
Absolutely.
everyone starts doing it, the market, it matures, it upgrades itself.
Absolutely. So the thing is, if end of the day, what we should realize is that there is no a particular strategy which is going to give a profit like in the longer run, because if something is giving, then why would anybody has to do anything else? Like, let's say you're selling a straddle, but why would anybody has to go and buy those options if that is
Correct.
going to give you
Correct.
profit? For everybody will end up doing that. So there's no scope for doing any different strategy, because anyways that is giving profit, so why would you want
See,
to
the
do
thing
something
is,
else? Hmm? Hmm?
mathematically speaking, both option buyer and an option seller
Hmm?
should ideally make the same amount of money or lose ideally the
Exactly.
same amount of money.
Exactly.
But what matters if you're an option seller is to you have to cut out your losses as soon as possible. And if you're an
Correct.
option buyer, you have to hold on to your winners as long as possible.
Correct. Correct.
So there are like two different approaches like you have to take. If you're an option seller, cut out your risk. If you're an option
Hmm?
buyer, hold on to your winners.
Perfect. Praful, I'll do just one thing. I
Yeah,
will just ask Sujit to keep pinning the super chats, because while we are discussing, we can just miss out on some, so that
that
we
would be
will
better. That
address
would be
those
better.
questions one by one, so that we don't have to miss out on any.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, we have around 1,700 people joining us right now, and it's a pretty big this thing, because like during a trading day, during the trading hours, and a working day, like when you see 1,700 people joining in, so definitely I would like to thank you all for making it here and joining this live stream. And if you're liking the stream, as well as if you're finding value, then first do give a cheer to Praful, and also then hit the like button, because so this will be pushed out to more number of people. YouTube algo will push out to more number of people, and more number of people can also benefit from this. So with that, Praful, is there any other question that you want to take up before Sujit starts spinning those super chats?
Okay. When can we expect Fin Nifty volume to pick up? Okay, there is no straight answer to this, but I would say within 1.5, 2 months, it should start picking up, and at least that's what I hope for.
Yeah, at least with the new rule of Tuesday expiry.
Yeah, with at least on Tuesdays, I don't know about the positional volumes, but at least for Tuesdays, people should come and people should start trading there.
Actually, BSC also started with options. So we used to trade in BSC options last year. So the thing
Okay,
is, to counter the same problem, what they did was they shifted their expiry to Friday
Friday, correct, correct.
from Thursday, and later they also got in a Thursday expiry as well as a like Thursday weekly expiry plus, sorry, Thursday monthly expiry plus a Friday weekly expiry. So they combined both. So somewhat, in spite of BSC trying so much, it's not they couldn't manage to increase the liquidity. Like even right now, if you see the options of BSC, so they are not quite liquid. So maybe we should see how exactly that works with like Fin Nifty.
Let's see. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been seeing a lot of chatter in Twitter. A
Hmm?
lot of people are excited to trade Fin Nifty expiries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at least if and again, we have to contribute to the liquidity, right? So unless
Definitely. Definitely.
if we keep waiting that हाँ भाई मैं जब तक मैं 5 million open interest contract एक strike पे नहीं build होता है तब तक मैं trade नहीं करूंगा. And if
Yeah.
everyone thinks the
Yeah.
same, it is basically
There's
it's a
no liquidity.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Definitely. Definitely. Praful, we have a super chat. So someone
Okay,
is asking, is it advisable to invest in Bharat bonds and pledge it at a margin and get a fixed rate of 7%?
absolutely, absolutely, no two ways about it. If you are risk averse and if you don't want to, if you are too risk averse to invest in mutual funds and invest in equities, debt instruments are the way to go, and Bharat bond offers a very good 6-7% returns,
Right.
and it is so liquid that it doesn't matter. Like you can sell it off tomorrow. Like अगर
Correct.
तुम्हें cash चाहिए, you can sell it off and get your money back. So it's a very good option. I
Correct.
didn't know this.
So
Actually, one of my friends, there's this guy Krishna. Like he got me to all these debt instruments and how we can get collateral
okay,
using this.
okay. So the thing is, I actually, to be honest, got to know about Bharat bonds after one of the videos from PR Sundar sir. So till then, I was not aware
Okay.
of Bharat bonds.
Okay.
So then, so we made some investments in Bharat bonds, but we more likely prefer holding on to equities than Bharat bonds. So, but the thing is, right now it might be a different case because equity prices are literally skyrocketing, but at
Hmm.
least when we started purchasing equities, so I would any day prefer holding on to equities over Bharat bonds. So that's why
Hmm.
most of our portfolio right now, almost close to 80 to 90% of our portfolio is in equities, and remaining 10%, what we have done is we have also put out on this thing, other debt mutual funds. So we have put HDFC Credit Mutual Fund, Credit Risk, Kotak Dynamic Bond Fund, and so on.
Hmm.
So actually, even they offer quite good returns. So all of them give somewhere close to 10 to 12% returns overall.
Okay.
So the thing
But
is,
like if you
market
want
is,
even safer
yeah,
option, then Bharat bond is a AAA rated
yeah,
and
very true, very true. And Bharat bond is way safer than those things because it's a public sector. This thing,
public
end of
sector
the day.
bond. Yes.
Yeah, and you're pretty sure that as long as the Indian government
Government
is there,
doesn't default, like that should be
yeah,
safe enough. Yeah.
yeah, and so many public sector banks which are not doing well, but still they don't never close because it's end of the day government who is backing.
कोई ना कोई आ जाएगा ना बचाने.
Yeah, exactly. And we have one more super chat also.
Yeah.
Like what? So we have from Ayush. This is from Ayush. What is your opinion on intraday leverage right now? The volume seems to be same after a month. Is it good for? Uh, is it good for, or do you expect to come back?
Okay, it can be an answer with some amount of personal bias. I feel that
Yeah. Hmm?
um, the thing is the risk for an intraday trade and the risk
Hmm?
for a positional trade is not the same.
Right.
ठीक है? When we go for a positional trade, we are taking higher
Hmm?
risk, overnight risk ले रहे हैं, and the
Right.
gaps that are not in the control. So why should I
Right.
pay the same amount of margin? Why should I put in the same amount of upfront margin for an intraday trade where I have stop loss in the systems?
Right.
Correct? I'll be in front of the
Right.
system. The markets are
Very true.
continuous. The markets are running, and then over and top of that, we have circuit breakers if at all the market starts falling.
Correct. Correct.
And first of all, our अगर आप काफी ज्यादा लोगों को पता नहीं कि how the margins are calculated, it consists of two parameters. One is the span margin, and another is the exposure margin. Our margins are already 33%, 35% higher than the rest of the world. And there is no exchange in the world, or there is no markets in the world where intraday leverages are not provided.
So the thing is, even like mature exchanges or developed markets, they at least have two to three. So one more thing, what I have observed is Praful. So okay, we have a lot of super chats coming in. I hope we don't miss it, and I will also keep my phone in front of me because it looks as though I'm looking away from the camera,
Okay.
right? So the thing is, okay, I hope these two don't go away before we can answer them. So the thing is, what I have seen is like, especially in markets like US. So whatever is your max risk, so that is the amount of money you will be charged to do any particular strategy. Like
Correct.
for example, if I just open a strategy builder and do a simple bull call spread. So the thing is, here you can see that the max risk I have is 4,000 rupees, but the margin I need to pay is 24,000 rupees, which absolutely makes no sense. So like
करेक्ट. अगर मार्केट कल 10% या 20% या 30% भी गैप डाउन खुलेगा, तो द
yeah,
मैक्सिमम रिस्क, द नोशनल लॉस इज जस्ट 4,000 rupees. So why should I pay 6 times the maximum loss? It
exactly,
makes
exactly.
absolutely
It
no
doesn't.
sense.
So you really don't know why you're paying this additional margin for. So they don't have to even give the intraday leverage, even if they just do this. For example,
Correct.
if you see many of the hedge positions actually come with way lesser loss than if you just simply do an iron condor here, or iron
Correct.
fly, for example. So this comes with a very low loss, say something like 3,000 rupees max loss, but they're asking you 43,000 margin, almost 13 times.
Of course, like some things need to be changed. I mean, uh, I don't know like what's the issue with SEBI, and I've been like very vocal about this. I've made like multiple videos on how stupid the
Right,
margin rule is, and I've been pretty vocal about all these things. But at the end, we are in India, we are trading the Indian market, so we have to, you know, oblige the rules of the regulator. So that's what it is. So, but personally speaking, margin rule not good. At least I'm not saying ki like give 10x, 20x, 30x leverage. Of course, it's the shortcut to bankruptcy, and people
right.
who don't understand risk, they will get bankrupt like pretty soon, and that will kick a lot of people out of the market. But 2x, 3x, 4x, up to 4x, I think
Definitely. I
it
can't agree
definitely
more to that.
work. And the thing is, like SEBI is coming in the pretext of saving the retailers and bringing
Mhm.
in margin rules and all that. And at the same time, they're allowing all sorts of Dream 11 and Rummy Circle and all those things.
True, true.
So who are they
Very true.
trying to protect, and who are they trying to fool?
So the thing is, I feel that all these issues started. Like the thing is, it's not that people weren't losing money before. So all this issue started once, I guess, selling started to get popularized. Maybe if you
Correct,
see two,
correct.
3 years back, no one really were selling options. No retailer was
Yes.
selling options. So uh, yeah, Praful, before we miss out on this, so there
Yeah.
is a super chat where uh, uh, Sarun Suresh has asked us about what is the view on Genesis technology. So since I don't know much about the company, maybe you can give some
Even
technical perspective to it.
I'm looking, I'm hearing the name for the first time.
Yeah, same
So
here.
like bro, like I don't know anything about fundamentals, but
Yeah, same here. So any
looking
technical
at the
perspective,
technical analysis, okay, there
maybe
is
you can use
absolutely no
the same
volumes.
system.
There's no volumes. It's just trading at the circuit. So
Okay.
my idea, my suggestion is Genesis Technologies. I think I'm looking at the right stock. Genesis. There are two Genesis.
So let me just try to open that here as well.
There's this Genesis from BSE and there's this Genesis.
Okay, I'll just open on Kite here.
Okay, if you are talking about GENESYS, so it has moved in a parabolic way. If you are already invested in that stock, probably book partial quantity and hold the rest till the grave. And if you are not invested and if you are trying to invest right now, probably you should wait till it retraces to a certain level, or if it gives a fresh breakout. So if I want
Cool.
to show you on the charts, can I
Yeah.
take the chart
Is
here?
yeah, definitely you can.
हाँ. तो अगर डेली चार्ट पे देखेंगे जेनेसिस का, so it has kind of given parabolic moves. So I don't know like what you're asking, like what your actual question is, like do you already have a position in Genesis or do you want to take a position in Genesis? So there are two different approaches. Like if you already have a
Let me
position
just
in Genesis,
go through the question once again.
yeah.
Okay, the question is, can we invest? I think he wants to take a new position.
Okay, if you want to invest, probably it's not the right time because I think it's you'll be buying at the highest possible rate. Probably I would like to buy when the valuation is kind of cheap. I don't want to. I'm not a big fan of momentum investing.
Right, and like with fundamental wise, I like
Yeah,
maybe
I have absolutely no idea about the
yeah, no
fundamentals,
idea
so I
about
can't give
this
you
thing.
anything about that.
So then we have one more super chat where uh, this is from Neeraj. So he says, "Thank you, Saket and Praful, for doing this. I have pledged my shares and I'm doing intraday selling. Can I do positional short?" Okay, this is a pretty general question, and the answer to is yes. You can use your pledged shares to trade positional as well. And yeah, but the thing is, with the new I like, Praful, what is your take on this new 50-50 rule which SEBI is planning to bring in? Like, so you have to have 50% cash and the other 50% collateral. So are you in for this, or do you feel
Just
that even this
just
was
like
a
most of the rules from SEBI, even this doesn't make sense. So I think if we start ranting about SEBI, then I think like we'll spend another next 2 hours just ranting about the SEBI's margin rule. So let's not get into that.
True, true. So then we have one more super chat by Varun Singh. So he is asking, is it okay to hold on to a strategy, especially when there's a drawdown, or is it to diversify 3 to 4 strategy? What is your opinion? So, like, I have a take on this, but first I want to know what is your take on the same.
No, you go ahead. No, it's not an issue.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So the thing is, one thing what I have observed is, like, usually when you diversify, like any system-based strategy, especially, so it's always good to have multiple systems, like not just depending on one system. Maybe you can have a straddle entry at one time, and maybe
I'd
you
like to
can.
add multiple non-correlated systems.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That would be, yeah, much better. Yeah, multiple non-correlated systems, and you can also, whenever you backtest, so you can also check for the correlations with the systems. Like, you can, maybe the most popular thing, right? What we have right now is stock mark. So there, if you create a basket for backtesting, so you can actually test what is the correlation between each of the systems. So that would be much more ideal, and it will be giving you way higher returns for the amount of drawdown. So that is return to MDD. So it will be giving you way higher returns. And one more thing with regards to, should we diversify during the drawdown stage, is you can definitely diversify during this drawdown stage. But what I would like to say is not to stop using the system, because the thing is, you have used the system all this while and you have reached the bottom point. And at the bottom point, you don't want to stop using it, because so the thing is, if the system has worked in the longer run, most likely it might continue to do so. Not that it should always work, but when it has worked so well and you're in a drawdown stage, if you just cut off everything right now, when the system starts to have its peak days or the best days, you're not going to be part of it. So maybe
Correct.
you can
Absolutely.
definitely diversify, but not exit the system completely and move on to a new system.
Absolutely. Absolutely. वो एक एनालॉजी देता हूँ, इट्स लाइक योर फेवरेट कार. ठीक है, अगर रास्ते में अगर बंद पड़ गया तो कार छोड़ के मतलब नहीं जाओगे ना, रिपेयर
Right.
करके चलाओगे ना.
Right. Praful, just give me 1 minute break. I'll just get my laptop charger. So,
Yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, just a second.
Okay, I'll take questions. Hmm, ठीक है. Rahul is asking, why am I not able to hold my? Okay, I'm getting my own voice back, so I'll wait. Okay, I'll take another question. Okay, I've muted my laptop. So can you guys able to hear me? अगर दो तीन यस मिल जाए तो. Okay, ठीक है, perfect. So I'll take this question. Um, how do you place the stop loss, and what is the maximum percentage? So basically, I don't have a fixed percentage of stop loss. It depends on the day. Okay. So let's say I'm trading on a Friday. So the options essentially don't go to zero. Correct. I'll stand to make, let's say, like I've shorted. a strangle in Nifty with, let's say, 30 rupees premium. So probably I might make around 10 to 12 points in DK. So in that 12 points of DK, अगर वो 12 points कमाने के लिए, so what I'm willing to risk. But the equation completely changes when I'm trading on a Thursday, because I know that all these options invariably go to zero. So let's say like I'm sitting on a strangle of 10 rupees and 10 rupees. So I'm potentially there to make somewhere around 20 points. So in order to make 20 points, like I have to risk something, right? तो कब तक मैं risk करूंगा? So it depends on that. But at any given point, I'm not comfortable taking anything more than 1 to 1.5% loss from my capital on a particular day.
Hi, Praful. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we got one more super chat, Praful. This is from Sidhu, and we have a couple of them to be honest. So this
ठीक
is
है.
from Sidhu, who is asking, "Do you? What is your opinion on system-based trading? So do you prefer discretionary or system-based?" So that is one
Okay.
question what we have.
ठीक है. See, look at this. How I look at system trading and discretionary trading is, as a newbie, I feel that like you have to go for discretionary trading, so that you have a lot of screen time under your belt, and you get the feel for the markets, and based on your discretionary experience, you start framing your own rules and form a system. But if you suddenly start trading with a system, you don't have the confidence in the system, and most probably you'll stop using that system during the drawdown phase. But if you
Correct.
have the discretionary experience, basically तो कैसा है, अगर तुमको कपड़े खरीदना है, तुम खुद जाके कपड़े खरीदेगा तो फिटिंग अच्छी आएगी.
Correct.
अगर कोई तुमको कपड़ा गिफ्ट देगा तो तुमको फिटिंग अच्छी बैठेगी नहीं. So
Correct.
most probably you'll stop wearing that t-shirt if it doesn't fit you. The
Correct.
system has to be custom made. It has to custom fit you. तो वो custom fit वाला system कैसे आएगा? That comes from your own rules. And how can you form your own rules? With your experience. And how do you get the experience? By doing some amount of discretionary trading. The point
Very
is,
true.
while doing discretionary trading, don't lose too much. पैसे खत्म मत करो.
Correct. So it's again all comes down to the risk management, how much you're willing to lose, and so on. Uh, Praful, actually, we are getting a lot of super chats to be honest. So I
Okay.
was just going through all of them. Maybe if you can open your YouTube side by side, so we have
Okay.
a lot
ठीक है.
of them which is unanswered. So you can start picking the questions that you want to start answering. So here is a interesting question which I will. So just to add on to this, I would 100% agree with Praful. So it's end of the day what fits you. So the thing is when you're like you are a person who doesn't want to see the markets at all, so then I think it's pretty good you make a system based trade with a low quantity so it doesn't affect you, because many people's I have actually tried teaching some adjustments to many people. The thing is they don't really the thing is what really happens is they don't really get the idea of what exactly they're doing. In such case discretionary might not be the best thing for you. So a proper system where it has a proper rule of entry and exit might be the way to go ahead. So is what I feel. But
But
if
those
you
rules should be formed by yourself. You
exactly,
can't you,
exactly,
you can't take the rules from someone else and expect to follow those systems. Let's say
exactly,
like if you are doing some algo trading and up screen को भी नहीं देख रहे हैं, and you're just that algo is doing like it's going like a
correct,
clockwork, then that's a different thing. But अगर आप
correct,
system
correct,
trading आपके पास rules है entry exit करने का, but those rules are not yours, then 90% of the time people will just ditch that strategy.
correct, correct. Very true, very true. So then, what if Nifty moves up by 1 point? The underlying what moves the Nifty by 1 point? Underlying stock or options? So, guys, it's always the stock which moves Nifty because options are derivative of Nifty. So, if Nifty moves, Nifty will the options will move because the Nifty moves, and the stock usually moves the Nifty.
Okay,
Not
so I
usually,
don't I
always.
don't know like if the people are able to comprehend this, but
Hmm?
sometimes the stock option gets affected by the option positions. Let's say someone is completely like someone has huge short positions on the market. Let's say like they have shorted the calls with a very huge quantity. काफी ज्यादा कॉल शॉर्ट किया है. Now they want to hedge that position. Let's say market ने उनका calls को break कर दिया, market started going higher. So they can hedge their position. I mean, they can repair their position in three ways. First way is जो आपने call short किया है उसको square up कर लो, or you short an in the money put, or you take long position in a future, or you go long in the cash market.
Ready? Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all these things are possible, but Nifty as an index move करने के लिए उसका underlying stock move होना चाहिए. So it's the stock.
So again, like as you mentioned, sometimes what happens is like Nifty. So the thing is, Nifty will start. Like the thing is, so it's quite complicated to be honest. So sometimes an option position or a future position can also indirectly move Nifty. So in the sense, what happens is, let's say a lot of people are expecting the market to fall. So
Correct.
they when they start running for cover, you usually expect the market to shoot up. So the thing is, so it's a but overall, even if they run for cover and the markets should shoot up, it's the stocks which will move the market and not the options or futures.
Hmm.
So next question, what we have is Praful. Yeah. Okay. This thing, I think we both won't be the best people to answer it. So they're asking if we can sell the S Bank shares. So they hold around 20,000 shares because since both of us are not registered financial advisor, I don't think we would be able to suggest you whether you should hold on to it or buy. We can
Sorry
just give.
guys. Sorry, पैसा पैसा बर्बाद हो गया आपका सुपर चैट पे. यस बैंक पे भी
But
शायद
maybe.
पैसा बर्बाद हुआ रहेगा और यहाँ पे भी 100 रुपीज गया.
Yeah, that
Sorry.
is true. So then, okay, will F&O be in the market for next 100 years? And why is it important? Isn't equity market enough?
No, देखो,
So that's
you
a
have to understand why the F&O market came into picture. ठीक है? F&O ऑप्शंस आए किस लिए? ऑप्शंस इसलिए नहीं आए कि आपने एक्सपायरी पे आके बेच के 10-10 पैसे, 2 रुपए, 3 रुपए का प्रीमियम कमाओ. ऑप्शंस आए
right.
टू हेज योर इक्विटी पोजीशंस.
Correct. Correct.
इक्विटी को हेज करने के लिए फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस मार्केट आए ना.
Correct.
But those option markets, so those things have gained so much popularity. One is because of the leverage. क्योंकि अगर आप
True.
10 लाख रुपए का इक्विटी ट्रेड करना है तो यू वांट 10 लाख इन कैश. बट अगर आपको ऑप्शंस में ट्रेड करना है, फ्यूचर्स में ट्रेड करना है, यू जस्ट रिक्वायर लाइक 20% ऑफ व्हाट इज एक्चुअली रिक्वायर्ड. So one is
True.
it offers
True.
leverage, it offers better return on investment to your capital, and the second thing is it opens up endless possibility of managing your positions.
Very true.
इक्विटी का
Very
पोजीशंस
true.
मैनेज करने के लिए आए ऑप्शंस. So definitely.
And I think it's pretty much required also because it is. So the thing is, for like if even if you see retailers, they might be using options for some other purpose, but if you see bigger institutions, so the thing is the perspective or the need for using options or futures for both of us is quite different because they are not using to make few penny profits. What they're really
Correct,
using is
correct,
for is to hedge their 20,000, 50,000 crore portfolio. So
correct.
they aren't really bothered about the few pennies. So these are the super chats as of now, and I think the position is also going quite well, Praful. So we are back to 39,800 itself,
Yeah, we're back to
and we
cost.
have recovered our loss. So we are at almost no profit, no loss. So this is not going to be in.
कोई बंदा सुपर चैट पे बोल रहा है भाई प्रफुल लव यू, यू आर ऑसम है. अरे क्वेश्चन पूछो ना यार. थैंक्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक्स, बट क्वेश्चन पूछो ना.
Once, yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, Praful. So actually, you are awesome. So
Hey,
you definitely deserve that super. I don't know how I missed it, so I was just looking at it.
मैं देख रहा था ना, मेरे को दिखाओ.
Okay, okay,
So,
perfect.
तो
So
sir, yeah, we'll take the questions from normal chats also, no? Like because a lot
yeah,
of guys are
actually,
like
yeah,
asking the
we are
questions.
also done with the super chats.
Yeah, we are done with super chat, so we'll start taking the questions from the normal chat. Uh, like for guys like who are asking option buying strategies and all that, bhai option buying strategies live trading session mein kuch bata nahi sakte. I think if I'm not wrong, Saket already has a video on his channel for option buying setup. I think you guys can check it out. मेरे चैनल पे ऑप्शन बाइंग पे कुछ है नहीं, बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक आई एम स्किल्ड एनफ टू बाय ऑप्शंस एंड मेक प्रॉफिट. तो मेरे को यही
So
काफी
actually,
है.
like we don't buy options. So all the gist of this video is for whoever is buying options. And if you have a view in mind, just to avoid decay, it's always better to go for in the money options, because even the thing is, first you decide how much capital you want to lose, whether you want to like risk 10% or 5%. First, after your risk is defined, based on that, buy deep in the money options, because that is going to give you a better chance of making a profit if you are right with your view. Like if you end up
Correct.
buying deep out of money option, even if the market moves up and you expect the bullish view, you're not going to make profit. So
Okay,
that's
this is
the
an
gist of the
interesting
entire
question
video.
here.
Huh.
When should one decide to become a full time trader? तो पहली चीज है, तुम्हारे सर पे कोई डेट नहीं रहना चाहिए. डेट बोले तो लोन नहीं रहना चाहिए, कर्जा नहीं रहना चाहिए. फर्स्ट थिंग. And the second thing is, there should not be a family which is depending upon your monthly income, consistent
Right.
income ke liye. Like basically, you should not have much responsibilities. Like if you want to change your career from your existing career to become a full-time trader. And the second thing
Right.
is, like, you should have at least like 1 year of emergency expenses. It doesn't matter like how much money is. Let's say तुम अगर 10,000 में अगर तुम एक मंथ को तुम बिता सकते हो, देन 1.2 lakhs to 1.5 lakhs अगर तुम्हारे इमरजेंसी सेविंग में है तो काफी है. बट अगर तुम्हारा लाइफस्टाइल कुछ ज्यादा है, इफ यू नीड लाइक 40-50,000, 1 lakh rupees, so accordingly your 1 year का expenditure should be covered. First thing. And the second thing is your trading account. Okay, you should not pull out any money from your trading account till you start compounding, or else it will hamper that compounding effect. तो आप ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए कि मैंने ट्रेड किया, आज 40,000 प्रॉफिट आया, मैंने आज निकाल आई मीन इस महीने निकाल दिया, नेक्स्ट मंथ 30,000 रुपीज ड्रॉ डाउन हो गया, सो यू वोंट बी एबल टू टेक द सेम अमाउंट ऑफ पोजीशंस, देन यू हैव टू पुट अगेन दैट मनी बैक. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Till you
Right.
reach a certain level of compounding, you should not withdraw that money, and you should have an other. मैं ये नहीं बोलूंगा कि तुम्हारे पास जॉब होना ही चाहिए या दूसरा सोर्स ऑफ इनकम होना चाहिए, बट एटलीस्ट योर नेक्स्ट 1 year ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर शुड बी कवर्ड, सो दैट यूल हैव, मतलब एक ब्लैक क्लाउड नहीं रहेगा तुम्हारे सर पे कि मतलब इस महीना मुझे पैसे कमाना ही है, इस एक्सपायरी पे मुझे पैसे कमानी है, इस ट्रेड पे मुझे एक्सपायरी पैसे कमाना ही है. सो देयर इज अ हायर प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ यू sticking to the rules and following the process than to chase the profits. And at one point, like if you start getting desperate, most often than not, आप धारामिक का कॉल के लिए वेट करोगे या कोई टिप्सटर के लिए टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन करोगे. Like you will do all sorts of like desperate shit. So don't be in that position. So that's it. Like
Actually, yeah, I have no opinion on this,
yeah.
because like Praful would have done the what Praful would have given you would definitely be the right thing, because he actually has evolved from a full-time central government job to a full-time trader. So his experience will be quite enough to know when exactly to shift, because from beginning I just wanted to be a trader, so I never thought, okay, I want to do this part-time or full-time. So his perspective would definitely have added a lot of value. So then we have two more super chats, Praful. So
Okay.
the thing is, one is regarding how do you know? So we actually lost the chat. I lost the chat, but I had read the question, so
Okay.
I just recall it. So one was regarding the 50-50 collateral, and the other one was regarding the option premium decay. So how do you know that, or how do you calculate on this particular day this particular decay might happen? So
Um, look at it this way, ठीक है. मैं उसको कैसे देखता हूँ. There is no hard and fast rule. Okay, मतलब इतना डीके होगा तो इतना ही डीके हो सकता है. Depends on a lot of factors. तो it's just, how do I put it? It's a basic framework. उस framework के around हम काम करते हैं. Like if I say that like I'm expecting around 10 points of DK, I've
right,
arrived at that number based on my previous experience. And previous
correct,
experience will definitely not guarantee the same amount, same kind of outcome in the future. So
very
I
true,
know that
very true.
I stand to make potentially these many points. It can be plus 20%, minus 20%. So
Right.
based on that I plan my risk, based on that I plan my adjustments. तो ऐसे कुछ हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है कि आज 11 पॉइंट डीके मिलेगा, कल 12.5 पॉइंट डीके मिलेगा,
Right.
tomorrow you will
Right.
get 15 points डीके. No, there is nothing like that. But one thing is sure, on an expiry day all options go to zero.
So the thing is, maybe like what we use particularly to calculate how DK works is again very similar on the lines of what Praful is telling. So we would have a sort of known, okay, if when Nifty was previously at when VIX was previously at 17 and it was a Monday. So what would be the ideal premiums of at the money option? So that is how usually we see. Let's say VIX is ideally ranging around 12 to 15, and Bank Nifty on a Thursday, we are expecting Bank Nifty to trade around 180 to 200 rupees. So this is how we approach the same thing to know the expected premium. So then, I think if I'm not wrong, so that's what even Praful meant by based out of the previous experience.
Correct, exactly.
So next, the super chat was regarding this 50-50 margin rule. So why have few brokers gotten it, and when are few more brokers expected to get it? So the thing is, actually, I was having this discussion with like Vikram from Firstock. So what he told me was till now, this 50-50 margin rule is still there in the system. But the thing is, this is for the broker level. So that means, let's say you're a client, so you have a portfolio worth 1 crore. So at the broker level, they have to maintain 1 crore worth of stock, 1 crore worth of cash. So if the broker has 1 crore worth of cash, that is more than enough for you to use your collateral, like 100% collateral. So what SEBI plans to do is from the December 1. So right now the a circular says December 1, but you don't know like how. The thing is, what I heard is there is no clarity regarding what exactly they want to do. So from December 1, it's been they have said that it should actually be collected from the client itself. The 50-50 should be collected from the client. So
Okay.
that's where so that's why Zerodha right now itself is collecting from the client, because obviously it's hard for Zerodha to do 50-50 at broker level because they're the biggest
Correct,
platform.
correct. Like they
And
are the
if,
biggest platform. Come on,
yeah,
it's
so many people
practically not
bring in
possible.
stock, they can't give so much cash as a collateral. So but for smaller brokers, they're able to do 100% collateral. But from the new this thing, most likely it is expected to change to 50-50 at the client's level. So we should see
Okay.
how it goes.
So there is this question, Saket and Praful, how did you guys get your capital? And I mean, you earn it or you took it from your family? Okay, I'll talk for myself, and Saket, you can tell your story.
Yeah.
So Mera, it's all mine, dude. Like it's all my savings. It's from my job. Like I used to be a central government officer, so I worked for 4 years, 3.5, 4 years before I quit my job. So it's all my capital. It's all my own capital. Like I've not taken anything from people, and I don't intend to handle people's money yet. So it's mine. It's my capital. So Saket,
Right, and like as Praful told, this time we completely differ because nothing here is common, and obviously being like start when you're starting trading at the age of 15, 16, sorry, like in
yes, of course.
2013, 14, you can't have your own earned money, so you obviously borrow from your friends and family. So when we actually started Optionables, so we had only small part of our money, and we had taken from our relatives as well as friends. So that's how we gathered our capital. So we didn't so I didn't invest my own capital completely. So in Optionables, it's not completely my capital what we have. And Praful, I think you can answer this question well. So there's a
Yeah,
super chat where they're asking, do all the gaps need to be filled at some point?
not necessarily. There is
Okay.
this. See, the thing is,
Hmm?
gaps do tend to get filled, but कब
Hmm?
कब मतलब हो
Right.
सकता है कि 2017 में एक जो गैप क्रिएट हुआ रहेगा, that would have filled during the 2020 का crash.
Correct. Correct.
It might get filled, it might not get filled, but what history says, what the previous
Hmm.
all the data says is essentially they will get filled at one point or the other. But
Right.
वेट करते क्यों बैठेगा तुम?
Right.
It
Very
can
true.
get filled tomorrow. It can get filled after 1 week. It can get filled in the next crash, in the next market crash. You'll never know.
Very true. Very true. So we have actually a couple of super chats where they haven't asked any question, but we would like to thank all of them for their contribution. So next we have one more is what is your average ROI that you make in option selling? So I personally would aim to make around 2 to 4% a month. So that is our ideal expected return as of now. So what about you, Praful?
Sorry, I missed that question. Sorry, can you come again?
So with option selling, what is
Mhm.
the average monthly ROI that you try to aim?
Okay, before leverage, and if you're doing intraday trades before leverage, so probably I would say around 15% with 4x
Yeah,
leverage. 15% should be doable with 4x leverage. I'm talking about, like, don't take me wrong.
very true.
But
Yeah,
with current, with zero leverage, I mean with 1x leverage, with the current regime, like what we are having, so probably 4 to 5% should be very doable.
correct. So the thing is,
And it's,
like, yeah, sorry,
yeah, go
Praful.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, the thing is, when you mentioned 4 or 5%, the thing is, when we were trading with 20x leverage, so we actually have a sheet put up there. Our monthly target, what we used to aim for, is so the weekly target was around 3.5%, and we had to do this 3.5% to meet all our fixed expenses and all those. So
Okay.
this was at. But now, if you tell me 3.5% a week, and I would definitely laugh at it and say that I definitely not was.
Yeah. I mean, like, you should ideally target around 4 to 5%, which should be doable, like provided that, like, you don't take too much risk. And I'm not saying like
Right,
anything higher than that is also not possible, but
right.
all the returns that you get are risk adjusted returns.
Definitely,
ठीक
definitely.
है, मतलब तुम जितना रिस्क लोगे उतना मतलब तुमको प्रॉफिट बनेगा. मतलब अगर आप, if you are buying an option at 10 rupees, you stand to make around 100 rupees, but you also stand to lose that 10 rupees completely, so it's
Correct.
all risk
Very true.
adjusted.
And sometimes what happens is like the amount what you invest in a particular trade. So that will give you like in terms of, for example, let's say we have done a Nifty short straddle today morning, and
Mhm.
that is 18500 short straddle. So I'll just show that to you here. So the thing is, here the amount what we have invested for the same is around 25. Like the actual required capital is around 4 lakh. But the thing is, obviously, when you are using 25 lakh of capital, you don't invest entire 25 in one strategy. So some
Correct.
strategies might actually end up giving you profit, but end of the day, what happens is on the overall capital, you would have deployed only 10% or so for a particular strategy. So that might end up
Okay.
giving you around 10%. But on the overall capital, it turns out to be 1%.
Okay. There is another
So,
question, like someone is asking me, Praful, are you using
mhm.
any steroids for bodybuilding? भाई मैं
No,
नॉनवेज तक
no,
नहीं खाता
no.
यार, मैं चिकन तक नहीं खाता, I'm a pure vegetarian. Steroids दूर की बात है.
Yeah, Prabhul. I think we have one more super chat as well.
Yeah.
So this is you guys often in positional trades sell massively on the other side to profit the losing iron fly. The payoff shows a 5% gap down will wipe out 20% of the account, and continued upside will give you only 1 lakh profit. Is it sensible to do? So the thing is, while putting the payoff graph, what I don't include is the hedge leg. So I only try to see how much premium I'm collecting. So that's okay. So this is with regards to most probably the previous week trade which we took. So as I told you, the hedge leg was little farther away. It was not that we didn't have any hedge leg. So no matter what we do, we never expose ourselves to like unlimited loss. So there will always be a hedge coming in. It might sometimes it might be little far, but most of the times it will be quite close. And even in the worst case, I don't like complete opposite where the probability is very low. And even in that case, we don't so we should usually we don't position ourselves in a way we lose more than 5%. So it only happened recently, but generally it doesn't happen.
Correct. Okay. If you're
So
done with
Praful,
super
before
chats, like I'd like to take some questions from the normal chats because a lot of
yes,
people are posting repetitively. I think they're getting frustrated. Like, sorry guys,
yeah,
like I mean, we have to go in this order, so don't mind.
yeah. So before actually moving on, Praful, so we have another half an hour left for this session. So we'll be anyways winding up by 3:15. So before
Yeah,
that, I would like to ask everyone to hit the like button if they're enjoying the stream. So we have almost 1.3k likes. So let's try to push it up till 1.5. And also subscribe to the channel, both Alpha Leo as well as Optionables. So the link to Alpha Leo's social media as well as a YouTube channel is put down in the description. So don't forget to check that out as well. So we'll also address the questions which we are getting in the normal chat. And I would also request people to do super chats less frequently so that we get good enough time to address each question thoroughly.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So which is the question that you want to take up, Profile?
Anything like I don't know. Hi Saket, should we close a profitable trade? Okay, this is nice. Like, should we close a profitable trade after we reach a certain percentage, or should we hold till the end of the day? So it depends
Right.
on what trade it is. Okay, like let's say like if you are in a non-directional trade, I would ask you to wait till the end of the day till your adjustment criteria is met, or if the days range or whatever the range, like whatever you have formed, if those rules are met, then see the thing is like if you're in option selling and especially in non-directional, the more you trade and the more you stay in the trade, the more chance you stand to make the DK to eat that DK. So
Right.
unless your exit criteria is not met, if you're in a non-directional trade, it's good to stay in the trade. But the answer completely differs when you're in an option buy position because let's say the market gives you a good upthrust and like momentum
Right.
de diya, and your option prices have already skyrocketed. And at that point, it again depends on a lot of things whether to hold or not. Because like if the market goes sideways or even if the market slightly retraces, all that IV in the options cool off. So you'd like lose 50% of your gains like this. So it depends on what position it is. So there's no one line answer to that.
True. So the thing is, what I would like to say for this is usually when we are doing system based trade, so we leave the position untouched. So whether we are getting a profit or a loss, so we never really book till the actually the thing is till the exit time comes something like 3:15 or 2:55. So we never really touch the position. But when we are doing discretionary trades, say something like so we have already realized 70% of whatever profits we can get and we have only 30 more percent left, and we know that if there is any wild move on either side we are going to get hurt, right? So in such cases we usually don't end up holding on to the trade, we book the trade because the thing is there is no hard and fast rule that you have to hold on, but with the system you have a hard and fast rule because the back tested results won't match with your actual results otherwise. So but whereas if you go ahead with a discretionary trade and you have realized close to 60-70% of the total profits what you can realize, I think that's more than enough to book it. So this is my personal opinion. So this is when we usually come out of the trades as well, and because from there if there's any move upside or downside you will be definitely getting hurt. So with that, we'll also take on some more questions while Praful comes and joins us back again. So he's back again, right? So okay, Praful, how did you actually manage both trading and job when you were actually working?
No, I was not. I was not trading while I was in job. Like I was just doing some random option buying. 10 रुपए
Okay.
का OTM options buy करता था with huge quantities, 10,000 quantity buy करता था, 10 rupees का option, and वो directly 14-15 rupees पहुंचते मतलब exit करता था, and sometimes 50-60,000 profit, sometimes 50-60,000 loss. Like I didn't even understand like what options were and all that. Like I was just ऐसे ही gamble कर रहा था because I had a constant source of income, and the proper trading I started learning only after I quit my job.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's pretty amazing actually. So actually guys, if you see learning curve of Praful and learning curve of us, so like there is a huge difference because like for us to the thing is we never really read anything before and we started doing random trades, option buying, then we had some guidance later on and we also read varsity. So this entire course took us around 7-8 years, whereas the time when Praful started learning and started executing and trading is just been around 9 months, if I'm not wrong, or maybe 1 year. Is it 9?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
It's
yeah.
like it's just been like 1 year since I started option selling. So I don't have a lot of experience, with option selling per se. But since I was constantly in card games and casino and all the probability related stuff, so it was like easy to pick up.
Right. So the thing is, if you actually start learning from the right source, or at least if you have your foundation strong, so you can skip most of your learning curve path. So you don't need 8 years like us, but you can rather start becoming profitable in 8 months. So
And another advice that I want to give people is like don't join like these super expensive courses. Okay, अगर कोई बंदा आपको market कर रहा है, मतलब YouTube पे आके and social media पे आके and आपको advertise चला चला के आपको market कर रहा है, तो ये आपको overnight करोड़पति बनाएगा, एक साल में आपका पैसे डबल कराएगा. Don't waste your money on that. Instead, put that money in your trading account और वही पैसे को use करके get your hands dirty and the kind of money that I mean, the kind of experience that you gain and the kind of knowledge that you gain just by spending the same amount is 10x, 100x more than what you would get in that stupid webinar or in that course.
right, right. So we have one question from Ganesh. So sir has been asking from quite a long time. Which do you prefer between straddle and strangle, and why?
Okay, are you going to answer this or should I take it on?
We can both take it up. So maybe you can
Chalo, chalo,
tell
you go
your,
first.
yeah. So my favorite is always the straddles. So I would any day prefer straddles over strangle. So one thing which I would like to show from Sensibull itself is let's say, okay, let me just open a simple strategy builder and I'll clear everything. So let's say I do a Bank Nifty straddle. So this is more or less, you can see the overall profit. So this says a max profit of around 16,000, and my break even is at 39,161 as well as 40, 438. So almost 800 points down, 700 points down, as well as 700 points up. So let's say I end up doing a 300 point or 200 point away short triangle, and I just close these two. So you can see that my break evens haven't really changed much. So they are more or less same. So I'll just add these two also, and I will just show you together. So you can see if I do a short straddle. So initially my break even was 437 on the upside, right? So with the strangles, 437 has become 458. So how much has it really changed? Just hardly around 20 points is all it has changed. Whereas my maximum profit potential has changed quite a lot. So here I had a profit of close to 18,000, but that has just been now reduced to somewhere close to so I had 15,000. That's get reduced to 11,000 if I do a short strangle. So for example, if I do say farther away, what I see is in short straddle, you can see you are really not increasing your break even much. You have increased it by 100 points. That's all. So for a 700 point gap, you have increased your break even by 100 points. But what is the potential max profit that you have lost out on? So you have somewhere close to lost out on double. So you would be getting around 17,000 or 16,000 if you do a short straddle. Here you are getting 8,000. But for this cost, how much have you really increased your break even? Less than 100 points. So for this reason, I would always prefer a short straddle over strangle, and short straddles with proper hedging. So that would be the best way I would be going. Like that would be my personal preference.
Okay. So I would simply say that a short straddle is a high risk and high reward proposition. क्योंकि अगर
Right.
market exactly center रहा, तो you stand to make the maximum profit. But short triangle में ऐसा है, wherever the market ends within your range, you make the same amount of money.
Right.
But at the same time, your MTM variations are also quite dramatic when it comes to short straddle.
Correct.
and the MTM variations are quite manageable when it comes to short strangle, because
Right.
at any given point of time short straddle may one leg is always ITM,
Correct.
so it always has the potential to accelerate.
Correct.
But in case of short strangle, both legs are OTM, and we can fairly expect that they won't gain that much as compared to a leg in ITM. So
Yeah, the effect of delta will be lesser.
correct.
Yeah, so with especially with positional, so the thing is, end of the day, when you're doing positional, for me, what that matters is where is my break even, and I see that my break evens aren't really extended beyond 50 points, 100 points, even if I do a 500 point short straddle. So it's not that a short strangle. So it's not that I'm doing it right next to each other. It's 400 points away, but in spite of going 400 points away, if my break even is just moved by, I don't know even if it's 100 or not. So let me, it's 518, and this is going
Mhm.
to give me a break even of 437. So around 80 points for going 400 points away. I would definitely not a big fan of doing short strike. So then we have a few more questions coming in. So, Praful, with what capital did you start your journey, and how has it been? Like,
See, I never invested like my entire capital immediately. Okay? So because I knew that like I had a learning curve to climb, and if I start off with the full capital, then probably I would. There is high chance of like me blowing up, but of course, like that never happened. Like I never took a drawdown of more than 10%. कभी मेरा अकाउंट 10% से नीचे गया नहीं है. But
right,
at every point, I kept infusing the capital as I started growing my risk appetite.
right,
And also even the markets made it mandatory for me to infuse capital from my bank account, क्योंकि पहले 4x था दिसंबर में, उसके बाद मार्च
right,
में 3x हो गया,
right,
उसके बाद 2x हो गया, अभी 1x हो गया. तो in order to take the same sized positions, like I had to bring in capital, and even now like I'm not completely invested. I still have some more capital to be infused, but
okay,
I think like with 1 CR or 1.2 CR capital, I think it's a decent capital to make
definitely.
like at least 5-6 lakhs of money every month on month. So it should be doable.
Definitely, there is no doubt about that. So to start off with, like I would like right now, because back then we could do option selling with 20,000, and like
Yeah.
forget about 20,000, even 3,000, with 20x leverage. But I would right now prefer, if someone were to ask me what is the ideal capital for selling, I would say that the ideal what you would start off with is around 5 lakh. So at least,
Mhm.
because it will give you, so the thing is, if you start with exactly 1.5 or 2 lakh, and let's say you unfortunately end up making a loss of even say 10,000, it will be 5% of your capital. So just to manage your risk better, just to have options to adjust your position which is going wrong, so I would maybe prefer 5 lakh.
Okay, there is this question
Hmm?
which is like repeatedly coming, and it's on psychology. I think we should take it.
Right.
Um, I think I forgot it also. If someone is spamming. Okay, I remember the question. It's like, since taking the losses take a lot of toll on your psychology and it's psychologically very hard to take the losses, why not
Hmm?
predefine everything and go for algo trading? Of course,
Hmm.
like you can go for algo trading. The advantage of algo trading is that like it eliminates the human emotions, it
Correct.
eliminates the human errors, it eliminates all the work that have to put through. But again,
Correct.
developing a sophisticated algo and giving it so much of an intelligence that it comprehend so many factors at a time and take a decision is not an easy task.
Correct.
You can develop algorithms with like simple logic, like some short straddle with fixed entry rules and fixed exit rules or
Correct.
something. But again, developing complicated algorithms is not possible at a retail level, is what I feel like. I might be wrong, maybe like I'm talking with just my limited perspective, but with whatever I've seen, like you can't build super complicated algorithms. Like you can build, of course, like you can build simpler trading systems, but again, the simpler trading systems will come with mediocre profits and with considerable drawdown. So if you're okay with handling the drawdown and okay with the handling the profit, I mean, with okay with like okayish profits, then probably algo trading is the way to go.
Yeah, I think end of the day, the framework, whether you do with respect to algo or whether you do with respect to your this thing, for example, discretionary trade, remains the same. Like when you set that you want to lose maximum of 2% of your capital, I don't think there's really a question to worry about psychology, because you size your positions in such a way that no matter if there's a 10% gap up or a gap down, you're going to lose 2% of your capital. So size your positions that way, and then there is no real question of psychology coming into picture, because you know what is the max you are going to lose and you're ready for that loss. That's the reason you took the trade.
Correct, correct.
So discretionary is also quite fine, so as long as you define well that what exactly you want to lose beforehand, before you actually end up taking the trade. So we have one more super chat coming in, Praful. So it's about the option price change mechanism, and like how IV or VIX usually affects the option price. So I think
Got
the answer to this would be pretty straightforward. So VIX basically factors in the volatility. If the market is getting more volatile, then obviously the people who are selling options want some amount of extra compensation, because when the market is volatile, there are chances that their option can become in the money soon. So they will ask, give me some amount of extra money because I want some compensation for the increased volatility. So that's why the price of the options also increase when the VIX increases. So next, actually, maybe we have to enable a slow mode, because we have a lot of chats coming in repeatedly.
Oh, there is slow mode also. ये पता नहीं
Yeah,
था
so
मुझे.
like one person will be able to like comment after 5 seconds. So each comment there'll be a 5 second.
Okay.
Okay, so here there were few interesting questions in the previous community post,
Mhm.
right? So here, let me just. Okay, Praful, have you ever tried commodity trading, and what are your takes on this? So do you want to? So do you wish to try this out in the future, or what is your take?
The thing is, like, I don't know the nitty gritties of commodity trading. Like, I mean, I've seen like natural gas, gold mini futures, silver futures, and all that.
Right,
And since I'm comfortable with options and not the futures,
right,
so I want like decent premiums and liquidity on the options. And
right.
commodity में क्या होता है? You won't get the kind of returns that you expect
Correct,
here.
correct,
And also, I'm not very comfortable trading commodities because it's a 24-hour market, and at
correct.
least worldwide मैं बोल रहा हूँ. So even though like we till open till only a particular time, but it's still a 24-hour market, and anything that hurts my lifestyle, like I don't do that.
Right, Praful. But I also want to know your take on cryptocurrency. So have you invested, or what is your take on
No, dude, like I missed that bus. Like I was kind of a
it?
naysayer, so I regret that, and I'm not proud of that because like just because I didn't understand crypto, I
Yeah,
started thinking that array, this is a fad, this is a fad.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
people during the dot com bubble, like so many things came up, and people are
Yeah.
like some people like array, this is a fad, this is a fad. But out of all these crypto, there will
True.
be see since crypto has a lot of use cases, at the end of all this fiasco, out of 100 cryptocurrencies, there will be one or two which will stand the test of time, and they'll be there
Definitely.
like even after 10 years. So probably it's just that like you have to diversify your crypto portfolio if you're investing, and not bet on something, because like one will reach like 1000x, 100x or something like over the years, and
Correct.
all other things will go to zero. So you don't worry about the things which go to zero. So you hold on to your winning horse. That's it.
So actually, I was talking to one of the crypto experts. So
Mhm.
he has actually made a fortune out of crypto. So
Yeah,
he
there are
was
a lot
tell.
of crypto millionaires
So
and
the thing
crypto
is,
billionaires.
he was telling out of the this thing, all the cryptocurrencies, the best use case is for bitcoins, and over the 99% of the coins whatever
Okay.
exists in the crypto markets are all
Mhm.
just the pump and dump scheme which they would have opened. And the thing is, he also told me that the Ethereum technology what is there right now, So it is quite backward compared to Bitcoin. So
Hmm.
so the thing is, Ethereum is continuously trying to evolve its technology. So
See, it's
I have
exactly like
yeah,
it's exactly like the 2000 .com bubble. Like though
yeah,
I was not aware of anything, but I read about the 2000 .com
yeah,
bubble. उस time पे क्या होता था? Every company that had .com at the end of this end of its name,
yeah,
it used
yeah,
to it used to just like it used to soar in the stock market. So हर
exactly.
एक बंदा मतलब जिसका वेबसाइट हो जिसका वेबसाइट ना हो जो even though he's not even remotely related to the internet, he used to say like John Plumbing Solutions.com.
Yeah. So there was also this study which said that
DavidTheSweeper.com. Like all sorts of like shit used to happen. So it's just that like during these kinds of mad bull run and the disruptive technology, there will be a lot of these what do you call
exactly.
uh,
Exactly.
fake things that start to happen. So
And the thing is, I was going through this study where I saw that close to 70%. So the stocks actually saw 70% rise when they actually added .com to their name. So during
exactly.
2000, so that's
No, there were
actually
lots of
insane.
stocks which were not even remotely related to the internet, and still they added .com to their names.
Exactly, exactly. Very true. Praful, so there was also the super chat on.
Mhm.
Okay, I want to ask this question slightly differently. So,
Okay.
have you ever done naked? So, obviously, you do a lot of naked while doing intraday.
Yeah.
But if you have done positional, have you ever done naked positional trades? And do you prefer iron fly over iron? Sorry, naked short straddle.
No, never. It doesn't sit with me at all. I'll be shitting my pants to be honest. I'm scared. I'll be
Right.
honest. Like I'm scared. I'm scared to take naked positions because I don't know. Like nothing is in control. No.
Definitely,
Like
definitely,
tomorrow,
definitely,
like China might wage a war against us. Tomorrow, like Mumbai में कुछ, it should not happen. But tomorrow कुछ बड़ा earthquake या कुछ तो tsunami हो सकता है.
definitely,
Anything can happen. Like how do you know?
definitely,
So I'm not at all
definitely.
comfortable. And even if I take hedge positions, also I make sure that my exposure is limited to 20% of my capital. And even though in
Right,
the worst
right.
case scenario, like I shouldn't wake up to a number which is more than 3% of my capital.
Correct, correct, correct. So, like, if you have a if you have a proper portfolio, then it's pretty fine because if there is a
Correct.
20% gap up, your stock will also gain 20%. And
Yeah.
if you are willing to risk maximum of 20% of your capital in a trade, and you
Yeah.
see a 20% gap up, so then you're pretty happy because you have lost
Yeah.
20% and you've gained 20% from this.
Yeah.
But
So
ideally, my
someone asked, "What do you think about Shreyas Bundy?" Like, hey, he's an amazing dude. Like, he's a very cool person. Yeah, we are friends. Like, we talk on a regular basis, and he's a great guy and very knowledgeable. He knows his stuff and very humble. तो डेफिनेटली अगर उसका चैनल भी अगर आप सब्सक्राइब नहीं किए हैं तो गो एंड सब्सक्राइब टू हिज चैनल निफ्टी बीएन नाम का चैनल है तो गो एंड
yeah.
सब्सक्राइब टू हिज चैनल
So the thing is, actually, we also follow Shreyas Bandi quite a lot. While so the thing is, but one thing I'm really scared of him is the quantity that he goes. So after our experience, but we should really give it to his trading style because it's not easy to handle 40,000 quantity of Nifty.
of course like
Yeah,
his
it's
psychology is
not
rock
really.
solid man.
Yeah, exactly. So because like if you give me 40,000 quantity of Nifty short, it's definitely not. I wouldn't be comfortable having this position at all. So and the thing is, the MTM swings will be huge, and to sit through that and know that okay, this is the time that I have to come out, or this is the time I want to shift my position is one. The execution should also be pretty good, and then you should also have a pretty good psychology to do that. And so then we have a couple of minutes before we wrap up this session. So we'll be closing our trades by 3:35.
क्या हुआ
So we
ट्रेड्स
have
मतलब लाइव ट्रेडिंग का मतलब शुरू किया एंड सब गप्पे मार रहे हैं क्या हो रहा है ट्रेड
so live trade. So we have
अच्छा
just
कॉस्ट टू
recovered
कॉस्ट चल
our
रहा है
yeah, cost
कॉस्ट
to
टू कॉस्ट
cost.
चल रहा है ठीक है
We recovered our losses and right now sitting cost to cost.
ठीक है
So this is one more advantage of having your position size low because you
yeah
never
like
really have to
you don't even bother checking it
Yeah, you don't really have to worry about what is happening to the trade. Otherwise, you keep like continuously checking. Okay,
Correct,
the
correct.
market is going up, market is going down. What do I do? So then, Praful, so like now coming back to this trade, so we have more or less discussed where bank nifty might stay, and it's amazing, guys, that like wherever Praful had actually drawn a trend line, so that's where it's exactly taken the support as well as resistance. So for this, do hit the like button, as well as let us know your thoughts. What do you think of this live trade? And it's seriously amazing. Sorry, I just moved that. It's seriously amazing that it's so clear that it's actually he had drawn a line here, and it took support here, it took resistance here, and it's trading in between this range. So yeah, Praful, so what do you like to add on for the next couple of minutes?
Mm, nothing, bro. Like you're doing like a fantastic job, and let's keep doing the same thing. I mean, क्योंकि क्या है ना, like there is a lot of stigma around trading. अभी भी मतलब
Right.
in spite of so much advancement in technology and all that, even now people still think of trading as gambling, and there are a significant amount of people who trade like gambling.
Correct.
So
Correct.
दोनों है. It's not like I just don't blame the society कि अरे यार हम traders को आप gamblers बोलते हैं नहीं, because there is a good percentage of people who gamble here. So we need to
Correct.
change that, and we need to change the paradigm. So we need to change
Very
the
true.
narrative. So
Very true.
that only happens with by creating awareness, and once we start talking openly about the profits, openly about the losses,
Very
and
true.
once we start giving people that bro this is the reality. मतलब देखो
Correct.
तुम ये एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं ट्रेडिंग से. मतलब हम ये नहीं
Correct.
बोल रहे कि भाई तुम 100 रुपीज डालो और 1000 रुपीज बनेगा, तुम 1 लाख डालो 10 लाख बनेगा, नहीं.
Correct.
This is what the reality is like, because like even you guys post the videos whenever you take losses and you explain like
Correct.
what is it to go through those losses psychologically,
Correct.
emotionally, and financially. And
Correct.
people need to see this, and they should be at a place where they can make an informed decision. ना कि मतलब कोई बंदा आया ऑप्शन बाइंग में मैंने 10 लाख कमाया बोलता है, एंड कभी मतलब उसका मंथली पीएनएल स्टेटमेंट कोई देखा नहीं. तो
Correct.
he'll take 10 ट्रेड्स, उसमें एक दो प्रॉफिट में होता है एंड उसको दिखा देता है, बड़ा बड़ा थंबनेल बनाकर वीडियो डालता है, लाखों लाख व्यूज आता है उसका,
Right.
मेंटरशिप ज्वाइन
Right.
करता है. nobody knows like whether he makes money from trading or whether he makes, like I'm not targeting anything, like I have absolutely I have no issues with courses and trading programs and all that. But the thing is
Right.
like people should be given a proper knowledge. I mean उसको एक reality देना चाहिए,
Yeah,
knowledge से
they
ज्यादा
should be
reality
given a
देना
right
चाहिए.
perspective.
Correct, like they have to get the right perspective, and they have to set the realistic expectations.
Correct.
And उनको realistic expectation कब पता चलेगा, when they see a lot of people like coming out in the open and posting their profits and losses, like
Correct.
even without any bias. मतलब ये नहीं कि मतलब मेरा लॉस हो गया तो उस दिन मैं वीडियो नहीं डालूंगा, प्रॉफिट हो गया
Right.
तो नहीं डालूंगा. तो even if let's say like on particular day like you don't come out and post a video, at least like monthly तो देखो भाई मतलब ये this is the monthly performance, so and so happened, so and so happened,
Very
at
true.
least. So that what that does is like it gives a sense of okay, this is what we can expect, this is what the risks are, this is how much efforts it takes. So
100%.
once that happens, like the community as a whole will start maturing, is what I feel.
True. So actually, I would like to add on quite a few things to that. So before which we actually got a super chat, so I thought we'll just address that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So one positive and negative in terms of trading style. So optionables for alpha and vice versa. Okay, so what so they want to. Okay, so they want both of us to discuss about one positive and negative of each other's trading style.
चलो मेरा कैमरा का बैटरी भी चला गया. चलो ठीक है, like
Right.
yeah.
So the thing is, the thing is, there's nothing negative about a style. So the thing is, you can only take out positives from the style, because end of the day, no matter which strategy you use, use whichever strategy you want, use whichever system you want. So everything works well as long as you have risk under control. So the thing is, I know for a fact that Praful has his risk under control, and if the thing is, if the risk is not within the control, then I would just point out saying that okay, this is not good in your trading style because you have like a huge
Correct.
risk. But
Correct.
when the risk is under the control, I like all the strategies are good. There is no strategy which is saying okay, this is bad or this is good. So that
Correct.
is
I
my
mean,
take.
I recall this incident, okay, where there
Hmm?
is this one popular guy on Twitter,
Hmm?
and he returned like tremendous amount of he returned like phenomenal numbers
Hmm?
using his system strategies, and
Okay.
on back to back on 3 days, his
Hmm?
system took a drawdown of almost 35-40%.
Okay. Okay.
So there were a lot of people like who came and like, oh, is this the way you trade? Like 3 दिन में तुम्हारा
Huh, huh.
30% drawdown हो गया, 40% drawdown हो गया. But the thing is, within next like 15 days or something, he came out of the drawdown phase.
Right.
So
Right.
it's all risk adjusted returns. मतलब तुम अगर yearly 1000% return तुम कमा रहे हैं, तो there is no shame in admitting that your system has a drawdown of 50%.
Correct. Very true. Very true. So, and one more thing, which I would like to add on to the previous point, since we almost come to the end of the stream as well. So, we have last 10 minutes to the stream. We'll be exiting the position after 5 minutes. So, the thing is, one more thing, what I have observed is people consider it to be a shame to tell that they have made a loss. But I really don't get what is the shame in telling that. See, the thing is, end of the day, you know that if you are getting anything over risk free rate, so risk free rate, say the bank is giving you around 6%, so you want anything over risk free rate, you have to take certain amount of risk. So when you take certain amount of risk, you are going to definitely have certain amount of losses once in a while. And there is absolutely no shame in coming and showing out your loss unless you're actually making loss in the longer run. So that's when you just want to show whenever you make profits. But if you're actually making profits in the longer run, I think it is much better because it will build more trust, as well as only if you only on the days you make a loss, you actually go back and see what you did wrong. On the days when you
And
make a profit,
मेरा एक टेक्निक है, ठीक है, like if you
yeah,
are like people who are watching this, like I have this technique. जब भी आप लॉस बनाते हो ना, तब जाके सबको बोलो मैंने लॉस किया.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So you will come out of that embarrassment वाला जो phase रहता है ना, उससे बाहर आ जाओगे.
exactly,
When you express your failures to more and more people, you become immune to those failures and you start viewing it in a very neutral way.
correct, very true. Very true. And yeah, not just that, and even like one more thing, what we should realize is it's part and parcel of the game. And so even if you don't want it, you will have it. And when you make a loss, you really analyze the situation of what exactly happened. Because today, let's say I end a trade in profit, how many of us really go back and see, okay, like you, it's not that you have ended in profit doesn't mean that you have always taken the right decision. Sometimes even luck would have favored you.
Correct,
But
correct,
though,
absolutely.
yeah, those days you don't go back and see, okay, like what, like if something had gone wrong, what you would do, or if something happened, you never check that. You think that it's because of your strategies that you have made profits. So that is one thing which I wanted to point it out.
See, and
And
the thing is, हमेशा ये होता है कि like we tend to fill our minds with lot of bullshit based on the hindsight. मतलब
correct,
तुमने पोजीशन को एग्जिट किया, उसके बाद मार्केट तुम्हारे डायरेक्शन पे चला गया, देन यू से दैट अरे रहना चाहिए था. नहीं भाई, like you took a decision based on the data points that were available to you at that point of time.
correct,
पता नहीं था कि मार्केट कैसे जाएगा.
correct, correct.
Don't fill your mind with so much of bullshit based on hindsight. तुमने ट्रेड काटा तो काटा, खत्म बात.
Right. And one more thing is I remember this comment quite well. So the thing is, like once when on some expiry or something, the market was completely flat, and so but we still ended up making a loss. So someone came and commented like what kind of option sellers you are when you can't even make profit out of the expiry. So in the first place, then they're like why should we follow you when you're making loss? And like in the first place, I never told that I'm making profits all the time. So I don't know. Like before I take the trade, if I knew that I'll be ending in a loss, I would never have taken the trade.
Correct, correct.
So the thing is, usually what I feel is, like especially when people share M2M screenshots of profit, so maybe it makes people feel like psychologically that someone else is better than them because they're making profit or something. I'm not really sure. So that sort of get lured to that, saying that okay, like you can actually earn so much and you don't have to lose. So only if they show the actual losing part, that's when you get the right perspective.
Correct, correct.
So we are almost coming to the end. So we will be closing the trades now. So somehow, luckily, we have managed to come to green, which will be good enough for our brokerage charges. So this trade, more or less, like obviously didn't go as expected. But even though the market consolidated right over here, we went wrong with our straddle. So
Initial trade
yeah,
itself we went wrong, no?
yeah.
We
So we
had
should
we
accept that.
thought that the markets would consolidate somewhere around 40,000, but it started consolidated 200 points lower.
Correct. Correct. And it was like actually, if you see this, it was well within Praful's view of whatever he told. So we can actually expect the consolidation over here, and that's what exactly happened as well. So the thing is, there is nothing wrong in accepting that you were wrong. Close this position out. We took a new position. We were able to gain whatever we had lost. And if you see that we never hit our M2M limit of 35,000, so we were comfortable holding on to this position. And the quantity was also pretty low, so we never oversized our quantity where we would be putting ourselves into risk. So the thing is, it's not just one factor which adds on, it's multiple factors, and the most important one is that you acknowledging that okay, this time you're not right and you have to come out of it. So that is
हाँ
what I
मतलब
would
कोई शर्म की बात नहीं
yeah,
है यार, मतलब तुम्हारा
exactly,
व्यू अगर गलत होता है तो कोई शर्म की बात नहीं है यहाँ पे, like you're not here to call the market directions right, you're here to make
exactly,
money, so change your
exactly.
opinion.
So I'll just be closing out this trade also, Praful.
Yeah, yeah.
So we
It's
have
already
500,
3
500.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just square off all the trades. Maybe will be with slight loss of 1,000. Yeah, 1,092. So that's for today's live trading, guys. And I hope that all of you guys had a great time joining in live. And also, so first, we would definitely like to thank Praful for uh, giving us time and sharing his insights. So we definitely had a great time joining live and discussing with Praful.
Thanks, okay. Thanks for having me. And it was a great chat, and I totally enjoyed it. क्योंकि काफी अच्छे questions भी आए, and 95% of the time the comment section was quite positive. But कभी कभी
Exactly.
मतलब ऐसे आए, मतलब कोई other YouTubers के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत ये शुरू हुआ था, but that's part and parcel. But still,
Right.
it's good that like we kept it on a very positive note throughout the session,
Exactly.
and I think that even the guys enjoyed it. तो अगर अच्छा लगा तो मतलब I hope like we can start doing this much often.
Yeah, much often. Exactly. And guys, a big shout out to Praful in the chat sections. So for him sparing his time and joining us. So do uh, let us know your thoughts in the chat section and also give him a big shout out. And apart from that, since we also come to the end, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, then do click on the link in the description. So there is the link in the description both for Optionables as well as Alpha Leo and the respective social media handles. So do not forget to check that out and go subscribe right away. And it's amazing that we have already received more than 1.5k likes. And if you're still in the stream and if you're enjoying it and still haven't pressed the like button, so don't forget to do that as well. So
And
any last,
another thing,
yeah,
like I want to add, like see, I know that a lot of the questions got missed, okay, and
yeah,
of
yeah,
course, like since we answered, like we took almost most of the questions, but some questions definitely got missed, and really sorry, क्योंकि time
exactly.
limited है यार, and
Yeah, and the thing is, the chat is also quite fast, and it's like
हाँ.
we also, yeah, it's while we are looking at the trades, chatting and looking at the chats, it's quite easy for us to miss out on some this chats. So
Yeah.
again, even I would also want to apologize for the same, for missing out on the chats and not answering. So, but we overall had a great set of questions which we got to answer. And
काफी
any
पॉजिटिव
last,
था.
yeah, very, yeah, pretty positive, very positive. So, any last thoughts, Praful, on the same?
Nothing, man. Like we'll keep doing the things that you do. Like amazing work that's going on. So फिर से कभी करेंगे.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, we'll catch up some other time. And yeah, कल छुट्टी है तो enjoy करो.
I think tomorrow is only settlement holiday, Praful, if I'm not wrong. So, like,
Is it?
you
Is it
won't,
so?
yeah, you won't be receiving your shares. Neither you receive your option premiums if you carry it overnight. But the trading will take place.
But it's clearly given like 19th October is Eid Milad
So the
holiday.
thing is, yeah, the thing is, it's on the old NSE website. This is where I
Okay,
went wrong, and
okay.
the thing is, someone sent me the new link. So when you go to NSE India holiday list, so there are two
Hmm.
websites. The This is the old one, and in the new one, calendar year 2021. Uh, so the
अच्छा.
thing is, the number, the date is missing in the circular.
Okay.
Yeah,
चलो
so
then.
that was,
ठीक
it's only
है.
a settlement holiday, and I think it's holiday for currencies and commodities also.
अच्छा, okay. Equities will run, I guess.
Yeah,
ठीक है then. छुट्टी
yeah,
खत्म
cool
बच्चों.
then, Professor. Yeah,
चलो then. We'll
yeah,
catch up. Thank you guys.
cool.
Thanks for joining
Yeah,
in, and we'll see you guys some other time.
yeah.
चलो
Thanks.
Saket.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
thanks,
Bye
Professor.
bye.
Thank
Yes.
you guys for joining in. See you soon.